Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Lawsplaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota, and I apologize for the initial confusion. However, we have got a wonderful show for you tonight because with me today is a very special guest. Please welcome that umbrella guy. Hey, buddy, how's it going?
Hey there, I'm doing pretty good. It's been a crazy day, though. I'm pretty amped up tonight.
Yeah, you are okay. For those of you who don't know, if you're not following Tug and if you're not following all this stuff, Tug has, and we're going to put this up on screen in just a Tug has released not released a comic yet, but you've announced a crowdfunding campaign for a comic. Looks fantastic. The art style's awesome. I gotta hold on. I'm gonna find this thing while we talk about it. But you've pulled up, you've set out this campaign and are doing your thing. And then of course, that's not okay. That's not okay because of who you are, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I've apparently having success. Well, it launched simultaneously with something that I think a lot of people actually know who the blue-haired orca, they know the infamous, the paid shill, I'm going to say. She was added onto a project with 30 plus other pros. I launched simultaneously with that, and I'm doing better because the crowd, of course. I'm not taking anything away from the backers, but I'm doing better than them, and man, they don't like that. They don't like it at all.
No, they hate it. They hate it. They're clutching on to their dying industry, and I don't mean that comics are dying. I mean their industry of comics is dying. Their grip on it is dying, and look at how quick these scumbags become gatekeepers when things don't go their way. You've been attacked by professional comic people, right? Like,
oh yeah,
this is nuts. And all you've done is released a comic on your own.
My comic book, part of it features my daughter. I've always wanted to put something in there. It's an all ages comic. That doesn't mean, hey, for kids. It means anybody that wants to enjoy it can. And I always wanted to give something back to my kids. So yeah, these people, they know that my kid gets on live streams, talks, loves to tell stories. She likes to tell about Barbie and the Pink Death Note, stuff like that. So they have been going at my kid nonstop. Yesterday, they went at me nonstop. And today they switched over. They've just been going at my kid all day long.
Well, that's just the way it goes, right? If the person is immune to the harassment, then what do they have to do? Find a weakness, no matter who it is. No matter the fact that if your daughter were to see what they were writing, that it would be emotionally potentially damaging for her because she's a child and isn't used to this internet world that we're in, right? And they don't care. They don't care at all. Consequences be damned. It's blood. It's blood in the water. And this whale wants to eat anybody in her path.
Yeah, if the blue wig fits, Every time when I see that, they've actually since I launched that, my daughter at the end of my live streams has a little story time. She comes in, tells a little story. It's fun, and everybody, like from anime, comics, and on, great people. We have great communities. They treat her like family. They always protect her and on. Since I've launched, I've had certain ones of them that I recognized. I had one that came in. Spamming certain words that would get you kicked off. But yeah, I'm glad my daughter can't read those yet. There's certain words that start with N's that shouldn't come up. And yeah, that's the type of people that they are. They would expose children to that and attack kids. Just reprehensible people.
Oh, absolutely vile. The worst people. And the problem is they would condemn anybody using that language unless they can use that language to cause damage for their own personal issues. It's always rules apply to other people, but they're using it in this virtuous, I guess, in their demented minds, their virtuous way that makes it just fine for them to do it. Just fine.
Well, here's a funny story. Okay, you want a good trolling story. So I know somebody out there, Mary Lola, Coach of Lola, likes to go hard at people, trolls hard. She loves to troll hard. One day she said, "Hey, you know what'd be really funny? We should put a picture of your hand up. Just put like a 'Hey, I'm at the store' kind of picture. No reference or anything, because you know these people they'll draw their own inference." And of course they did, and it's been really funny to watch them, build this shipping narrative almost of course a female that doesn't walk lockstep. Obviously, they're fucking you, excuse my language. Well, wait, I know where I'm at. I don't have to.
You're fine.
I forgot where was that for a second, Lord. But anyway, like that was okay. But today they started talking about going and they were saying go find her kids because her kids are Tug's kids. Okay. I was like, what the fuck? You're talking about taking this random person out there, finding their kids and doing what exactly? So you can do what to my kids? So that's creepy and that's fucked up.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I just
yeah, it's a parent. So you understand, like if this internet world. If this happened in real life, I would, no bravado or anything. As a parent, I would stomp a mud puddle in your face. It wouldn't take any time whatsoever. But in internet world, 280 character culture, well, fuck it. These people can do whatever they want, and they feel like they can do it with impunity.
Yeah, and I mean that's apparent. That's apparent. And the problem is, of course, the way Twitter enforces things, they're ignoring. They ignore obvious, open, and brazen targeted harassment from their side, and then they call what is not targeted harassment somehow harassment and abuse from our side, and so it gives them this aura of impunity, and they run with it, and it's absolutely it's frustrating. For one thing, it's very, very frustrating, but it's absolutely vile. And there's a special place in hell for them. But we'll see. We'll see. So a couple things. One, I've got a super chat to deal with right away. I have this new policy where if I have a $20 chat, I read it right away because, that gives people a way to talk to us pretty quickly. Fuzzy Pickle says, tear into their lying ass. So I think we're gonna be doing that. In a little bit. We've got I wanted to bring this up. So here's the page. Let me share screen on this. And that go. So this is the case of the littlest umbrella.
Yeah. I basically I have two things that are going on here. So I have this with the case of the littlest umbrella. It's basically an all ages Lovecraftian horror tale. I love horror. I love all types of horror. So my daughter loves horror. So, she's grown up around it. She's not afraid of anything. She talks about dangerous knife fingers, aka Freddy Krueger, all kinds of stuff. Yeah. She's like, little kids can't play with knives. So, dangerous knife fingers. But
right.
I put together this with Kyung Lee. It's got he's very talented, but he also has almost like a manga-esque approach. So, I mean, it looks great there. Now, what they're pissed off about is I've been up 2 days, 19 grand. So,
yeah, what are they at? Have they they're like around 10 or?
They're at 13 something. Now, there's 40 people, and 30 plus of them are, basically everyone else is known in something except Renfamous. Renfamous was added to it too. So they're at 13,982. And
that's the state of the industry right there. That is the state of the industry, that they have a disgusting, fat, greasy, vile attack dog woofing at people constantly on the internet, and this industry that is opposed to harassment and opposed to everything and all about inclusivity and all for the customers and fans. What do? They reward that bloated, decaying corpse with a comic. And they think that that's what they need to do, is they need to go ahead and encourage that type of behavior, and that because they genuinely believe it to be good. That's the state of the comics industry right now, summed up.
They can't. They cannot have you going out. These people think they're, it's what I notice in anime and everything else. These people think they're fucking rock stars, and these rock stars, they can't be touched. You can't talk about them. You can't demand professionalism. Although like the blue-haired orca would snatch your fucking upsized value meal right out of the hands of somebody. They would go through the window if they got disrespected. I could even imagine that. That would be kind of awesome to watch. But if one of these people calls you a Nazi or starts picking at your family or anything, that's okay. That's all right to do. For comic book pros and voice actors. I mean, it's different, and yet it's the same. And of course, they have to do that because more and more of us are walking away. And when we get vocal, well, I mean, we tell other people, and they hear it. They know it's going on anyway. I didn't know how bad this stuff was for the longest time because these folks controlled posting boards. They controlled everything. But then we started having YouTube outlets that would talk about this stuff. And, one of the things Diversity in Comics challenged people to do was to go look at it yourself. So I hate Twitter, but I thought, why not? I'll go check it out. And when I checked it out, I was stunned to see how awful these people were. And they've gotten worse.
Who's this guy? Who's this guy right here? Who's this guy?
Yeah, you like that? Yeah.
I do. I do.
Okay, so there's two things in there. This is a shot at if people you get a comic book, but if you go to the second tier there, you get this added on. Now this is a shot at Gail Simone. Starts out. She was making fun of somebody else's comic, a comic skater, and she said it looks like a Rorschach version of a Goody Bird. And everybody's like, "What the fuck does that mean? What are you talking about? Are you high on something?" And she got so pissed off that I decided to make fun of it. So this it pays homage to people that are known here. You can also there's a tier where we're almost sold out of it where they can be drawn in as well. But like people like yourself, other people that are just known there, I wanted to give them a shout out. These are people that I know, and like I said, I wanted to give a shout out there. But there are also there are things like when you're telling the quest for the Goody Bird, you encounter Renfamice and all other kinds of stuff. Just taking shots at these people.
Good. Yeah. Because ridicule is the only thing that works.
You can see there's a Renfamice down at the bottom. These are uncolored, but you see right there in the middle.
Oh yeah.
And it has a blue rig on. That's actually a blue wig, and it's got that little jacket that she has in all her cosplay stuff. It's actually pretty awesome.
That thing is much more attractive than her, though. So good job to Kung Lee.
It slobbers less,
Charitable of him to do it.
But I put all this, I got into comics when I was 3. I mean, I have a nostalgic attachment to it. My grandfather, got me into it. He's dead now. And I always look back and it's great. So I'm making this where people can enjoy it, but also I give it to my kid. So, when she looks back, she'll be like, well, my dad was fucking crazy, but at least this was funny.
That's what we would want all of our kids to say.
Yeah, exactly.
In all honesty, but at least my dad was funny.
Yeah.
Well, and the first part, my dad being crazy, of course, because that's our job. We got to tell the dad jokes. We gotta make fun of kids in ways that are not demeaning, but uplifting. And they always come across as like these awkward phrases and stuff like that. But and you got to do all the things that your kid thinks you can't do. So of course, dad is crazy, but at least we had a lot of fun.
Exactly.
Michelle Marie says, I've been wanting to ask this for a long time, but can Vic get them for discrimination? He basically got fired for being Italian. Also, has anyone noticed that Sentai is not casting the Funimation VAs involved in this attack? I have not noticed that, mainly because I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I haven't really paid attention to cat. That's actually something interesting. If you found something like that, DM it to Rekieta. That's actually I mean, we're all looking at different things, trying to understand the industry, trying to understand it better. So yeah, if you've noticed a specific item where people are not being cast that normally would and stuff, that might be intriguing to look at.
To answer your question, Zach Fuchs, remember that line in what's that movie? Signs? Swing away, buddy. Swing away.
Swing away. There you go.
Ninja Bread Man says, hello? Don't know a thing about drinks, but I got a Glenlivet 12, and my dad, who isn't into scotch, is excited to try it. Got vodka or others you'd recommend? Also, shout out to Michael Pisciarino and the rest of the Timestamp squad. Thanks, buddy. I tend to stick to whiskeys, but there are so many different whiskeys and scotches that you can try. I mean, you can always have something different. But in honor of you, Tug, are you drinking tonight?
Not yet, but I'm sure I will be before the night's over. I always actually my kid is not here, so I'm sure this will end up pretty soon. But yeah, I usually drink Jack Daniels. You can tell from the freaking thing here, it's no longer a secret. I'm from Tennessee, so it's you know, I mean, it's you go with what's local.
Right. Absolutely. Well, I am going far from local. Here, let me stop screen sharing this for just a second. Guys, we are gonna, we're gonna promote Tug's comic a little bit and ask you guys, if you're interested in it, to go ahead and hit that Indiegogo link. I'll throw it in the chat in a minute. Go ahead, hit that Indiegogo link and buy it. Show some support for Tug. Buy an all ages comic that looks like it's got a lot of fun stuff in it. If you like horror, if you like, someone was accusing you of ripping off Lovecraft. Looking at these pictures, I can tell that person is mentally handicapped. Because
I tell you, man, Lovecraftian, ripping off something. I mean, what's left that we get like a discount cosplayers that are doing discount characters like, I don't know, Ramona from Scott Pilgrim. Yeah, they don't get a vote. Cosplayers don't get a fucking vote.
But it's not really Lovecrafty. Well, these are okay, walk me through this. So we've got comic panels up here. That looks a little more Lovecraftian. Yeah.
I've got the first 6 pages done, and it's got a Lovecraftian feel. We're talking about it starting out. There's type of someone, they go to bed every night. When they wake up, you spend a couple of pages them waking up, and there's pages they're written out in some kind of language. They throw them away. They wake up again, and something basically dark and foreboding is being called. So you do have a horror element there. And again, I didn't want to skimp on the horror. I love horror, so I don't want that to not be there. I wanted kids to be able to enjoy it, but still, there's nothing wrong with having scary parts. But there's cutesy parts there too, for kids to enjoy.
Yeah, and the thing to remember about Lovecraft is if you have horror elements in your book, you're probably borrowing from Lovecraft anyway.
Right.
Oh, here's what I'm drinking tonight. I was saying this is not local at all. It's Kalevala vodka. This is, I believe, from Finland. Yeah, from Finland. Some Finnish vodka. So while you can have your Tennessee whiskey, I'll put down some Finnish motor oil.
Finnish motor oil. There you go.
This is good stuff.
Yeah, I drink that a lot. I don't know. I'm more of a creature of habit, and that's my my comfort.
What is the Jack?
Yeah, man. I just slip into it. I used to, when I was younger, I was more brazen about it. I would drink like 2 fingers a lot, hit that tequila. But man, these days, I don't.
Yeah.
Too many nightmares.
Well, you don't want to hit it too hard.
Well, it's not those days where, I can party until I black out and wake up on a riding lawnmower where I've ran into someone's above ground pool. That happened, so I don't really know what the fuck happened that night. But, those kind of days were fun, but yeah, can't do that anymore.
Yeah. Well, maybe. We'll see. Depends how big your comic book gets.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, there you go. If I could hit Ethan levels, man, I'll do whatever I want.
That's right.
I'll do whatever I want.
I imagine Ethan's riding lawnmowers into people's pools all day. That's what he does.
He probably is. He's like, I'm a rock star. I don't blame him. Actually, I would do it.
I would too. Oh, absolutely. Mr. Armageddon says, "Hey Nick, hypothetically, if one individual has 2 legal actions filed against them, let's say TI with business contract and defamation, this seems very pointed. Will it usually be rolled into one lawsuit and case or 2 separate ones?" Oh, one case. Yeah, it'll be one case. You need to bring all of the related causes of action, or even sometimes even unrelated ones, into a single issue, and that's just a matter of the courts trying to be as efficient as possible. So yeah, that'll all be in one case. And I'm telling you guys, like real smart people like Shane may think that that lawsuits aren't happening because they're not happening on Saturday. I'm gonna tell you, Monday is gonna be a funny day for a couple reasons. And the biggest one is that those lawsuits are going to be really, really embarrassing for the people who say that nothing is happening. But you know, what do I know? Yeah, so that it's all one thing. But so Tug, how long have you been talking about comics? Because I had a tiny role in talking about comics back in like March of last year when this stuff first happened to Meyer. And then, also, real quick, I think we're going to get a Meyer update tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Meyer versus Wade, the deadline is tomorrow for the response to the jurisdictional discovery. So we should see their, their memorandum pop up tomorrow. And I don't know if I'll be able to cover it because I'm going to be traveling and I'm not sure how my internet's going to be, but we'll see. But that's tomorrow. But yeah, so back in March, I covered it briefly when it happened. And then I got slowly kind of dragged into the Comicsgate stuff because I talked to Ethan a couple times, mainly when someone sent him a picture of his anus. That was nice. Very courteous of him to do that. And then, we had the debates and stuff. And then suddenly I'm covering comics. But how long have you been covering comics on YouTube?
Okay, I've covered them for about 2 years, but I guess there's 2 parts of that. I actually started out with a nicer, gentler thing, but I asked a question that really fucked these comics up for me. I asked, who are the people on these? The names there, who are they? For a year and a half, I asked that question, and I've covered that. And yeah, there is no nicety. By the end of it now, I can't buy any mainstream comics anymore because all those people are, there's so many garbage tier ones.
It turns out if you try and weed out the trash, you end up weeding out the entire garden.
Yeah, because right? If I wouldn't go, see, I get tired of 2 things with this. Number one, separation of art from artist. Okay, nobody asked me to separate the plumbing from the plumber. Nobody ever asked me to do that. Hey, he fixed a good crack, but he might call you a Nazi. Fuck that. I would never happen. Yeah, and then the idea of companies. If there was a good employee at a company I really liked, but the company itself treated me like garbage, I would never go back. So why would I make that excuse for, say, a Marvel or a DC or on? And after a while, there's no companies left.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so I'm like new to this world. I guess you've been in the comics industry for a while, but I asked how long you've been covering it because that's when you start, right? Like that's when the dirt starts turning sour.
Yeah. Now, actually, having comics around me, I got a comic when I was 3. We'll say decades. I think that's a nice way. So,
but it's been the past 2 years where you've been looking into the industry and smelling the dead fish, right?
Yeah, I got it really interested when I saw. No offense to DNC, he is a great person covering stuff, but he was covering stock reports. He was talking about numbers, and I thought, dude, you're not right. That's wrong. You're wrong. You're not reading them right. It'd be like, you hearing someone talk about law and you'd be like, oh, don't do that, So I was listening to that. And
I've never done that before, though.
Yeah, never. I can't even. Like, oh God, shut up. But he was talking about IDW, the fourth largest publisher, and he was saying that they lost $800,000, for the year. And I was like, no, dude, that was for one quarter. They lost it in 3 months.
Oh
So
no.
yeah. So yeah, this year, I mean, if you look at that company, I'm not going to bore people with these numbers on it, but essentially, $49 million company this year took out by 2020 they'll have $20 million in loans, and then they lost, as in their whole year, negative $36 million.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So that's IDW, you said?
Yeah, and they've been around almost 2 decades. They were profitable up till 2016, but they got woke, and of course we know how that goes. So
yeah. I won't even say. Robert R91 says, got my Bigfoot Bill books today, along with my Fear the Beard patches, and put in 2 orders for Tug's comic. I think I'm addicted to crowdfunding good people. Well, good. Good. Crowdfund good people and good work. Most importantly, good work. We've got Double A says, hey there. What was with that jabroni who called Tug a P to the E to the D to the O?
So that's
story time.
Oh, yes. Let's go with him. Mark Lombardi. Okay, this guy, everybody knows Image Comics, if they know anything about it. If they don't, Walking Dead, stuff like that, it comes from there. Okay, they're the 3rd largest publisher. And this guy, he ran, they basically are a bunch of companies that come together. He used to run the social media for one of them. And he hates us so much that he used the company social media to attack people. And he kept doing shit like that until he attacked Ethan one too many times, and well, it's not there anymore. They had to leave Twitter because he drove it into the ground. So this guy, I used to make fun of him all the time, and he fucking hates me. I mean, he hates me, and so
isn't it amazing? Like little jabs at someone, at these entitled, whiny people. They just those little needle remarks just. I mean, they go crazy. They lose their mind. It reminds me, and sorry to interrupt your story. We'll go right back to it. But it reminds me of like Shane, right? Like Shane, I don't know if you've been following, but Shane is off of any reservation. He has lost.
Yeah. I watch Shane every day. I watch Shane every day because that guy is like I don't know. These guys have replaced TV or anything for me. This is the best comedy show on earth.
Yeah. The worst actors, but the funniest outcomes.
Yeah. I mean, God. It's like, when you used to watch sitcoms or anything else and you would think, man, that character's too stupid to be real. Shane was like, hold my beer, son, hold my beer.
Yeah. Except for Shane, it was like, no, I don't even have the joke. It was like, I was going to say like, hold my, pump or something. Because
he's like, roll my chair.
I don't know what he drinks. He eats the shoes, but I don't know what he's drinking. Oh, the soy milk. That's right.
There you go. Right. He just squeezes out the the sweat guard and stuff in him. He's like,
that is disgusting. Shane's a funny guy because he acts like he's successful or whatever. But, he lives in an apartment the size of my bathroom. My
favorite tweet from him is that one where he talks about how, God, I've got to look at it. I've got to pull it up because I love it in his words. It's that's why I keep tweets, just because of my own amusement, if I'm being honest about it. When he's talking about 15 years ago, I was like the one night stand king of conventions. That line right there. Oh my God.
I weep for the women of anime, or the men, whichever one it may be, if that's true. I weep for the other party in that transaction 10 times out of 10. And if they need therapy, please call me. I will help you. I will listen and believe.
Yes, very much.
Because wow, that is unfortunate and disgusting.
I will carry you to your therapy appointments like a backpack, because that's the kind of umbrella I am.
There will only be one set of footsteps in the sand.
There you go.
But and Shane's got a history that he probably doesn't want people looking up, like a history of being charged for writing bad checks, I was going to make a joke about Shane writing checks his bank account can't cash, but, it's not even funny. Got a history of writing bad checks, carrying a knife around when he's not supposed to. What other skeletons are in Shane's closet? What's in his divorce report? What's in his divorce proceedings?
They're those poor souls that he lured in 15 years ago. Those are the skeletons in his closet.
Yeah. Oh, gross.
Yeah. Unconfirmed. There you go. Unconfirmed.
Yeah, unconfirmed. Unconfirmed. Disavow, but great. I don't know why these people want people looking into them. I really don't. I can't figure Shane out. He's an enigma because as best I can tell, this idiot is trying to get into the lawsuit. Like he wants to be brought in because I guess he'll think he'll get some validation out of it. I don't know. That's the part that's baffling to me is he is very much towing the line of I want to be in this. I'm going to commit some sort of pseudo defamation. Plus, I'm going to indicate that I have all of this info that maybe he can, jerk off onto a subpoena or something? I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Why would you try to, you're like, I want to be number one. I understand that somewhat in comments or everything else first, but why do you want to be the first guy to get served? I don't get that one.
Yeah, I don't know. The problem is he's just not important. So I don't know if his dreams are going to come true. Blaine20 says, attention, Kick Vic, SJWs, feminazis, and other freaks of nature. Do not think for 1 second that you are immune to criminal charges. You are tarred pukes. Tug has lawyers, LEOs, etc. within reach. Back the F off. So there you go. Some big support from Blaine20. Weirdo with a cello says, can Toye, Loader, and Wade all be mandated to tell daddy no every time $1 of the settlements they have to pay is spent by their opponents? Probably not. Usually court doesn't mandate speech, but it could happen that way in settlement. Noir777 says, since Umbrella Guy is writing a Lovecraftian comic, I wanted to ask him if he's as hyped for the sinking city as I am. Also, thanks for being gentle when taking my super chat virginity. Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
That's so nice there. Yes, I'm looking forward to the game. I think it'll be great. It actually, I cannot see them pulling off some of the stuff they do in the promo. I don't know how that would play out, but I'm curious. I'll still buy it to figure it out.
So is that the one that's with it's officially Lovecraftian with Cthulhu and everything? Yeah. And
yeah, it's got the mad, it seems like it's raining from the skies and the guy seems like he's going mad all the time. If people have not watched if they've not seen the trailer, watch it and just ask yourself, how the hell does that actually happen in the thing itself?
Yeah, I watched the demo of it, or the not the demo, what you call it, the trailer for it, and it looked very, very interesting. I've read a ton of Lovecraft. I read pretty much all of his short stories, and I've read 2 or 3 of his novels, and because you can get the whole collection of Lovecraft for like $1 on Kindle, all in one place, and I love it because when I read Lovecraft, I dream, and I don't know why. Just do.
Put together they would put together Edgar Allan Poe easy readers and stuff when I was a kid, and they had a first or second grade Lovecraftian translation, which was dumbed down as hell, but was so creepy, and I read that when I was really little, and I thought, my God, some of the stories. Whoever thought of that? Nowadays you can find kids books that are creepy and awesome. My kid has an aliens book, that's again a kid's book. It's following Church the cat. It's cute and yet it's really creepy if you know what's going on. They have X-File books, but back when I was a kid, yeah, they didn't. They didn't at all.
Yeah, I once one of my kids, when one of my kids was being born, I live blogged it on Facebook in the style of a Lovecraftian story. It was great because I had my wife likes to go into labor at like 3 a.m. That's just what she does. So it was really, really early in the morning. We're driving to the hospital, and so then everybody looks like a zombie. So that's what I was doing. But I love the eldritch elements to the story, and I didn't really start reading. Oh wait, no. My first exposure to him was reading the Necronomicon back in high school. Have you ever perused that thing? It's
Oh
great.
yeah. I remember. I always loved that because back in the day, people would always say, "Oh, that's actually based on the real stuff." Even though it says, "Oh, it's based in fiction." No, that's based in something real. There's always there used to always be like one or two crazy people that would do something absolutely batshit insane. Every year they make the headlines because they would always have the Necronomicon in that. It was
Yeah.
always.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I love to
Hey,
read it. And what was
here's a
that?
weird post. Yellow Flash put this up. He said, hearing from someone disgusted with Renfamous that her and a few others were in a Google Hangout last night plotting to take down that umbrella guy's Indiegogo and purposefully attack his child to get to get him heated. They believe that this would cause damage to his Indiegogo and create refunds. What shitty people, if he's I'm not surprised by it, but come on, that's a terrible plan too. Because anytime I get heated, people actually like that, and they buy more books. So
Yeah, but it is. I mean, that's the plan. That's the plan. Actually, one of these sandy vaginas is in the chat right now. It's great. It's great.
oh really? Hey,
Yeah,
Sandy.
yeah. Well, I won't name him because that would make him feel important. But
No.
he's a boring individual. But yeah, so I mean, what do they have to do? Instead, they come give us views on live streams. Thanks for the views and the interaction.
Yeah,
Val.
I've,
That
I've
helps
noticed
us.
yeah. I've noticed a few, profiled individuals that I thought were fake accounts at first until, they weren't. And I thought, are you that mad? Are you that pissed off? Really, they're pissed off because of it depends on which thing we're going. Comic books, they're pissed off because we said we want professionalism, we want better products. If we don't get them, fuck you, we walk away and make our own. In anime, we want due process and we want professionalism. And if we don't get it, then people will start walking away. Some people are already doing that, and it's the same thing. You have this overlap from all of these communities because of the types of people that do this crazy shit. Ugh.
Yeah. Well, and the anime community better realize, the professional anime community in the US better realize is we can all read. We don't
Yeah.
need your dub studio. We really don't.
Right.
And if
I don't
you're
I don't like dub. Do you like dub? I mean, are you a dub? Are you sub or dub?
I don't watch a ton of anime. I tend to watch it subbed. But
I see. With my little girl now, I have to watch more stuff dubbed. I used to only do subs, but now I'm at that place, that fork in the road. I'm like, man, learn to read quicker. Please learn to read quicker.
Nice. Yeah, actually, yes, because and I think it started with Macross, and I get the complaint from some of my friends when we would talk about it, they're like, I don't want to miss the action by reading. Oh, excuse me. They don't want to miss the action. It's like, well, usually during the action, the only thing you're hearing on anime is or whatever. But so they don't have a lot to read. But I just like the subs better because sometimes the dubbing, if it's not done flawlessly, is very distracting. It's very distracting. I like the dub of Cowboy Bebop, which I think is largely regarded as one of the best dubs out there, as well as just one of the best anime in general. But I prefer the Japanese voice of Shinji in Evangelion. So I don't know. But here's the thing, I can read, so I don't care. If the dub house needs to die, won't bother me one bit. And I think most people would agree that they'll get their anime however they get their anime.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd much rather read manga first, and I get to the point. I like anime, I enjoy it, but I can walk away from certain things right off the bat. And if they push you after a while, they treat you like a fucking crackhead. They think you're all crackheads, that you can't walk away from this stuff. And I understand that you have nostalgia and everything else tied to it. I totally get that. But remember, these people are dependent on you buying their name written on a piece of paper or buying other goods. They don't make enough money to live comfortably otherwise, so you can really hit them in the pocket if you refuse to, you cut it back to basics and you refuse to buy anything else, and you voice, very loudly why you would walk away from other things.
Well, and remember that there's a backlog of anime that I don't care how much you've seen, you haven't seen enough. You don't have to consume any of the new stuff. That, again, it's one of these industries that is so vulnerable. The specifically English dubbed anime is so vulnerable to crowd displeasure, because they can get subs, they can get fan subs. They already do, and people have been for decades. There's a market for it. They'll put subs on mainstream channels, and people will, like Baki on, you can I think you can watch it subbed, right, on Netflix. I don't know, maybe not, but I mean, they'll put subs on mainstream channels and people will still watch it. It's not a big deal, because we can all read. Marsupial Gamer says, "Hey there, Tug. From one Tennessean to another. Once you go Jack, you never go back. Congrats on the comic and go Preds."
Yeah, I don't get involved that much in Preds. It's just like a home team. I don't know. I grew up not having a team for anything. You had college ball, but besides that, you didn't. You had an imported football team, and the Predators weren't actually here, so I don't know. But yes, everything else. And hey there, by the way.
Talbot Link says, in relation to Shane, sometimes the worst punishment you can give someone is to ignore them simply because they aren't worth the attention. They feel it more than any prison time or monetary punishments. That's probably true. But Shane's probably used to being ignored, even by the people closest to him. The Witch 3 says, Ron, you should become a soybean farmer. I hear it's very cathartic for people who get sued into the ground for being a beta cuck. Blaine 20 says, the Indiegogo is almost to 20K. So we have had some activity.
Let me see. Yeah, it did actually. Let me roll it up real quick. $19,680. I appreciate that, folks. There's a tier. If anybody wants this, let me just say this.
What's that $200 tier?
There's a $200 that's more of a retail tier. The $150 tier, though, it's there goes the neighborhood. Basically, you saw where Nick and everybody else was drawn in. Well, you can get drawn in too. If you want to be part of the story that makes fun of the Rinfamice and everything else, you can be commemorated in there. You get your sketch and everything else, and everything that's attached to it, plus your book and on. So, I mean, you could do that, or like I say, you can, if you just want a comic book, there's a comic tier, the comic plus the other comic. There's a tier for that. There's a 4 times tier, at $100. Some people want 4 of it. Here's the thing, too. If you go and look up, this is not just a bullshit sell thing. Go and look up things like John Malin's project, Graveyard Shift. See how much they're selling for on the open market, like, because people, they come into this and they want them afterwards. Well, Malin's, you bought it for $25. Now it's costing, I think it's $150 if you want to buy it. So yeah, there's a good resale. I'm not going to reprint. I'm not going to do anything crazy like that. If I did, I would put second printing on it or something.
Well, I don't have my wallet in my office, but assuming there's still some left, I'm buying one of those 150s, buddy, because I'm already on there, but I don't care.
Yeah.
I
there's
want
7.
one.
We had 15 originally, and they went bam, and people were like, "Oh my god, I didn't even know it's there." So I talked to the artist and I said, "Okay, we could do it as a double page layout, but I'm not doing it anymore because that's we have to restructure. We have to add 4 new pages, which is good. You get 4 more pages to a book, but I mean, we have to do a lot of restructuring to basically make it work."
Yeah. Hey, tell you what, can you carry, I know you can. Will you carry the show for just a minute? I'm going to go get my wallet right now.
All right. Sure. All right, folks. Hey, let me throw a couple of these things out there. Since, these people, this is kind of entertaining. So I'm going to tell you a little story about why these people got so worked up. They got worked up because they decided that there's a certain troll out there, Lola. She decided one day we should put up a picture that would basically be my hand, no narrative. And hey, these people out there, they could come up with their own narrative. And of course, they came up with umbrella guy is effing that person, always got to be doing, that's got to be a specific person out there. The problem was today they started talking about going after her kids. They started talking about digging up pictures of her children so they could find me because her children are supposed to be my children. And that's been my day so far today. They've been trying to dig up my kids. You have specific people out there. You have that Mark Lombardi we were talking about earlier. So Mark Lombardi, he's brought up my kid before, and the last time I put up, if you don't know what a map is, that's a nice way of saying a pedophile, a minor attracted person, they like to call themselves. I asked him if he was mapping the galaxy, and I put up a song with I put up pictures of what he was posting along with the song Mother from Danzig, tell your children not to hold my hand, tell your children not to hear my words, what they mean, what they say, that kind of stuff. And he didn't like that at all, So today he's been going in, again, a 5-year-old. It's just strange to me, and it's infuriating in a way. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you can get that. Yeah,
all right.
I made sure there was a lot of dead air. That way I could just talk about no, it's play.
That's what I do.
Yeah, that's what I do to other people. I do mic drops repeatedly and make screeching sounds.
Yeah, I have my credit card number memorized, but for some reason that stupid 3-digit number is the one I never get.
I can't remember that, man. I'm never that far with reality, I suppose. I'm always but when I'm around my computer, I usually have drank at least a little bit, especially if it's late.
Yeah, it's please enter email address. I can't, that's too much.
Like, oh no.
No, I have my phone number though.
I have enjoyed though. Like I like, some people ask why do you go back and forth with these people? Why not just block them? Well, because on the other side of the block, they're still doing what they do, and it exposes them. These are industry professionals or people that are being rewarded by industry professionals. And I don't know. I like exposing them in a way. Twitter's funny. It was interesting. I saw Renfamous talking about you, saying you were easy money. Every time I talk about him, I get clout, basically. I get followers. I was like, damn, that's sad. If you gotta take someone else to get your own followers that way.
Yeah, she should find a way to like actually just be interesting to people. That would be better.
Yeah.
Well, I have made my purchase. It's not showing up on the total yet, but there we go. Oh, we're $55 short of 20 grand.
Quick, somebody spend $55, please. We got up 20K. Oh,
yeah, that would be great.
Remember too, like the project with the 40 pros. What's really funny about it, again, they will have surges. They actually today, a lot of people that you'll recognize, they went out and they were trying to shill it because they've seen us gloating about it, and it pisses them off that we gloat about it. So they made some more money. So yeah, more cushion there. I appreciate it, and obviously more money. I appreciate that too. But
well, yeah, and there's bonuses, right? Like you added a 20K bonus, I think,
and I'll add a 25. I'll add like I'll add a card. I'll actually, as we go up, probably for every 5 to 10K, I'll see exactly how that goes. But yeah, the guy who colored Cyberfrog, he costs enough money, so I wanted to do the cover. Now I found somebody, but then I thought that guy is amazing. The guy working with Ethan Van Sciver. So I picked him up. But like I said, he's not cheap. So I figured I would just add him for a stretch goal if I got to there, and I've gotten there. So now I'm going to add like you get a card or something like that. It'll be, all of this stuff, obviously. Stretch goals mean it's free for you. You already backed it. You'll get that. It comes along with it. And I'll keep adding stuff. It's, it's fun.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I'm happy to contribute. Looks great. Lovecraftian is right up my alley. And of course I'm in the picture, so I got to buy one.
Well, you know, somebody asked this too. Hey, why not add a signature tier? I forgot to note on this that I will sign them. If I can figure out a way to personalize some of them. Some people were asking me to write weird shit in them, and I don't care. I'll write weird shit for you if you want. You know. If you want me to write you a love lesson, somebody asked me to write I think a love message from Mundane Matt to them, and I was like, all right, if you really want that, I don't care. You know?
Who doesn't want love messages from Mundane Matt?
Yeah,
I mean, I can think of nothing sexier.
Hey, baby, can you drop that boulder off on me? I'm like, oh yeah.
Put the boulders on my chest. Oh,
is that like the lotion on the skin, man? You put the boulder on the chest.
Well, they did that. They did that for execution. In like, you know, well, a lot of the executions that they talked about doing in Europe, I don't think they actually did a lot of them, but there've been conflicting accounts of historians. Like they certainly executed people in horrific ways, but some of the really creative ones, they're like, well, you know, these were just kind of threats type thing, but who knows? But one of them that I had heard about was they would put, you know, you'd lay there and they would put like a rock or a slab on your chest. And it would,
did they do that in the witch trials? Actually, wasn't one guy crushed to death like that? I think probably.
I mean, I mean, at least maybe that's where this came from. But yeah, they would put, and they'd increase the weight like every day to get harder and harder to breathe. And some people's family members would occasionally, like for mercy, would come up and just crush them right away. So that's great.
Oh, Lord, right. Somebody said, hey, you know, that umbrella guy, you know what people are going to ask you to sign? They're going to be like, hey, they're going to want you to sign. You're going to get 5,000 y'all requests.
Yeah. But you have to spell each one of them differently.
Oh, Lord. No. I despise the written y'all. I do. You know, it's one of those words. I'm telling you, once you start looking at social justice lingo, you'll notice specific words that they've co-opted, that they've thrown into that mismatched vernacular, and it'll ruin those words for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They've ruined yikes. They've ruined gross. They've ruined problematic. You know, they ruined that one earlier. But
my dude, I've never understood that. Or my guy. You know,
I say my dude, but I mainly do it as a nod to how broken
you don't
it is.
know. You're not like totally my guy, you know, and junk. I mean, I've imagined some of them valley girling it, but some of them I don't even.
We're gonna do it. I'm gonna be like, "What up, my dude?" Constantly. Yeah. My man, my boy, my dude.
Yeah. What up, my boy? There you go.
Just so you know, you have crossed 20K, so thank you so much, chat, for helping out with that. Sakaki Onsai says, "All right, chat, let's say it to tug together. The famous words of Fry from Futurama. Shut up and take our money, sir. Fund his comic and show Fat Blue Orca Airlines, Chrissy, Lombardi, and the rest that we mean business." Thank you, Sakaki Onsai, for that. Michelle Marie says, by the way, canceled my Funimation subscription, but then again, I watched subbed. There are people when this started that said that people were going to boycott Funimation and pirate, and sorry, it's Aniplex, not Sentai. My source is MAL. So there you go. So Sentai, someone did say in the chat that Sentai was still hiring, like they hired Monica Rial or something like that. But apparently Aniplex is not hiring them. Now that's interesting because I think, isn't Aniplex owned by Sony as well?
Let me look. I want to know now. Somebody will probably tell before I finish looking. You know what I mean?
And do you want to talk about that thing I sent you in just a second here?
Yeah,
I think the chat might want to know. We've got a little bit of inside info on the Sabbat thing with Kamea-con. Not a lot. Don't expect like some massive revelation, but it's a puzzle piece, and we're gonna put another piece on the table for you. And as we're getting this information, you know, we want to let you guys know what we're coming across, because I think transparency is important, but not everybody else wants to be as transparent.
Now, let's be honest. Like Nick Rekieta, like every night he has his finger on the pulse of information. And my God, if you knew what this guy had. So every day, seriously, you know, this is the only stream. if I cannot stay up, I make sure that I I make sure that I try to catch it every day when I get up because yeah, you've got your finger. People have no idea how much information like crosses through. I see enough, but my God, just some of the stuff there. They should they would yeah, I think it would probably boggle people's minds like
I
how much stuff is out there.
I wish I could say the stuff that I only had one source on. I
Mhm.
really do, because it would blow, I mean, it would blow minds. The problem is I can't 100% say it's true.
Well, that's my problem. I've heard, I've had a few sources. Again, I don't want to be that other side. That's what I really try to avoid too. But I've heard some really, Sabbat, interesting things about him and past and so on that I'm trying my damnedest to confirm, but
Yeah,
I
me
just,
too.
if I could, yeah, yeah, definitely me too. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. I think that information's going to come out, or it'll be discredited, right? That's one thing. That's one thing that I think is going to happen maybe sooner rather than later. But did you find out about Aniplex?
Yeah. Yeah, no, not really. I think they are part of Sony though. I didn't see
I
it like
I
it was
heard
there.
that they are, but I don't know. Like, I don't follow this stuff close enough to
Yeah,
to
they're
know for
Sony. They
sure.
are Sony. Yeah, I've got it right now. It was pulling up. I just yeah, it's part of the Sony Corporation. So
Okay. Yeah, so there might just be simply a non-compete between Funimation and Aniplex that's in weirdly interdepartmental between Sony, but there's also, I think I heard today that Sony Pictures, or whatever, the division that owns Funimation, um is nothing but loss. Like, year after year after year of loss. And Tug, you're a numbers guy, right?
mhm.
I don't know. That might be worth looking into.
Yeah,
Uh,
that actually would be interesting. If anybody, it'd be interesting to see. One of the things we run into if a company is owned by a monster subsidiary, they bury the numbers so deep. It's kind of like looking up Marvel through Disney. If you want to get to the
right.
comic numbers, you can't because they don't report those. You just see Marvel Entertainment. So I'll look it up and see how deep that goes. If anybody else has done research on that too, if you want to hit me up, I'll of course credit you for it if you want that. So
Yeah, that Marvel. Well, there's a reason you can't get to the Marvel numbers. They've got to maintain the illusion that Marvel is doing
yes,
okay because the MCU is so important to their
man.
business model.
It's crazy. Like you can tell just by going. They amount to quite a bit of the industry. So they lose 10% in 2017. In volume. I go by volume, not money, because you can raise the price and make the price look better. Well, the next year, last year, they lose 6%, and they still lose money. This year, they're making more money, but it's because the prices are at insane levels, and they're still down another 2%. So, and that's going to comic shops. So one of the things that kills, I'm very curious what'll happen when distribution collapses. Like,
The
you
only
know,
thing that Disney is going to have to, if they want to persist, if they want to keep it going, they'll have to fork out massive cash in deals, because it'll change the stores to
mhm.
have, a dedicated Marvel display at Walmarts and Targets. That's what they're going to have to do
Well,
when,
they'll have to they'll have to do buybacks. See, we won't do that now. That's one of the ways they make money. They put out 20 covers of something for up to 40. That's not a joke either. Up to 40 covers of a number one. So you can't tell how the sales are. They go to shops, because shops pick up, they don't know what the sales will be. And you can look at the next comic after that. It'll drop by 70% for demand because, again, shops can't keep up. Well, they're not returnable. So if you
yeah,
have a $7 comic at wholesale, you're probably in it for at least $3. How many $3 comics can you not move before your store collapses?
right. Because from what I hear, they run on razor thin margins.
Yes,
Um,
very much so. I've known some people that run it. And sadly, this impacts anime or manga fans too. That's where if I want to buy something, I can either go to Amazon or I can support local, and I try to support local as much as I can. The problem is local is disappearing.
Yeah, they have manga at Barnes and Noble.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed, but outside of that, I don't know where you'd even buy this stuff in my town, because I'm in a small town. You'd have to go to the nearest town the nearest big town to probably get anything. And by nearest big town, like we're talking an hour away, 2 hours away, to get reliable comic stuff. Because out here, yeah, there's just nothing. It's weird.
Yeah, well, that's here. I mean, we live in a small area. You know, we have to drive a ways, and that's another thing. You know what keeps me from pirating this shit, guys? I'm gonna be honest. Like, if you treat me like shit, I'll you know I can throw aside that reservation about trying to make sure you get paid, and I can just go get mine. You know, I mean. You tell me I don't matter, fine. I don't matter. Fuck you. I'll take what I want. And you know, I mean, it doesn't take me like for a comic book. Literally, you can go to certain sites. I'll just say certain sites, but
Right.
it would take me. I could do it while we're sitting here talking. You know, between drinking, you know, cokes. It would take like 2 minutes maybe. And it's the same way with anything out there. Like, what motivates you? And there's not a lot of motivation when you're being treated like crap.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think a lot of these industries are miscalculating is, you know, people don't pirate only because they have faith in the distributor. I mean, that's what Apple Music showed, right? Is that people would, once you put up a cost-effective, trustworthy alternative, people would do that. But if you keep raising costs and if you keep insulting your customers, people aren't going to. They're not going to buy comics. They're just not. They're one of those things where it's an industry that's. I don't think it will hold the import that the industry thinks it will hold. People will not just buy into the medium.
No, and you know they think digital is flatlined. It flatlined 3 years ago. It just doesn't move at all anymore.
But I had that one guy on my show saying that digital was definitely the way to go forward in comics.
No way. Because if you look at the way that the industry is trying to bank, they bank on book sales and all these phantom ways they go out. But if you look at digital sales, they've plateaued. They don't move. It's right there in the numbers. Now you're going to have certain outlets that probably do better, but what they want to do is sell you a $5 comic book, and they want to sell it again, predatory practice. They want to sell you 40 covers of something. Who's going to buy a $5 comic book over and over and over again in digital? How are they going to do that? They can't maintain their profits. They already have to engage in predatory practice. If they didn't, I would imagine the reality behind comic books is, you know, if you go in a shop and you look at the numbers now, well, remember the shops, I called 58 shops, and 58 shops told me their sell through didn't go over 50%. So yeah,
Ouch.
yeah, that's a beast right there. So that's, you know, you're not getting that in digital at all. Digital is much lower, and they cost the same as physical or more a lot of times, you know. So yeah, it's not, it won't work. You're still going to have sales. I'm not trying to knock digital, but it's it's not the same. People buy, they collect, and they resell, and you can't do that shit with a digital comic book.
Right. And I mean, video games saw the pinch of that a little bit too.
Mm-hmm.
When they're going to all digital, like the backlash of from the customer base is, we can't lend our games to people, we can't sell them.
Right.
You know, not every comic is a collector's edition item that people want to save. So a lot of them, you know, they'll buy it, they might pass it to a friend or two, say, hey, you know, read this and check it out. With digital, it's harder to do that unless they make it easy, but they tend to not want to because it hurts sales. Archangel Nishan says, love the comic tug. I'll put my money in on payday tomorrow. And yes, Aniplex is owned by Sony. And I'm getting confirmation that it's Sony Music Group, or Sony Music of Japan owns Aniplex.
I saw it under the header of Sony Corp. So thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah. And I still think Sony has no idea what's brewing in this suit. But
God, I wish every time someone got served papers that it came with a little camera or something. That way we could just watch their face as as they read through it. I would love to see the color drain from their face and just that shocked look. They're like, oh my God, please make it stop. Ty, make it stop.
Yeah, well, I think tomorrow, maybe tomorrow, if you're following Twitter, you might see something funny happen. I don't know if we'll see it. But let's just say that something is happening tomorrow that might cause someone to melt down.
These people living on Twitter too, we can at least we can flip a coin and say we might actually see what if they go deathly silent, we know something has gone majorly wrong too. So
yeah, tomorrow there are several ways tomorrow could manifest, and it's just keep an eye out because it might be funny. You might see a lot of action from a particular account, but I've got to lead it as a riddle.
I'm like, come on, Dave, go faster so I can laugh at somebody,
Oh, Corono says, I thought it was Monday. Oh, that's all Monday. This is something different. And it's, oh gosh, it's just, there's so much funniness going on that, because, and remember, these people are still pretending like they think it isn't real. I don't know what their motivation is, if they're trying to discredit us or something like that. I think that's got to be what it is.
Yeah.
That they're like, oh, we can just pretend like this isn't happening and that'll ruin their credibility. It's like, good luck, because eventually it's all going to be public, and that won't go well for you if you try and lie about it. Kind of like that whole Zenkai Con thing, right? Because eventually that could come out in the public, and you idiots know exactly what happened at Zenkai Con. Why you're lying about it is beyond me. I guess you think I don't know and that I just guessed about it. Oh, sweetie.
They play that game though. They play a game of misinformation. And I guess for their headline reader crowd, I read a thing one time where it said that 85% of people these days peruse headlines, and of that, I think it was like 60 something. They won't read beyond a certain point, which it's basically just headline readers. I think 280 character culture. A lot of people buy bullshit. They do. They buy in, but more and more people aren't. I hate the way that people abuse their fandoms though. They not only weaponize them, but they fucking lie to them. And it's so disgusting in its own way.
Yeah, I wouldn't lie about it. But even if I got something wrong, I would feel horrendous.
Yeah.
Like I tweeted out the thing yesterday when the person got their refund from Kamehacon. And I didn't think anything of it because I had heard that Kamehacon was going to drop the Okratron studio tour. I heard that the tour was being canceled like a week ago. And so when I saw that someone's ticket was refunded, I was like, oh yeah, I'll just retweet that out. And then someone messaged me and said, hey buddy, what if this is fake? And I was like, oh.
Yeah, actually, somebody mentioned that to me afterwards, and they were like, "Hey, I don't know if I don't know if everything is legit yet. Everybody needs to check it. All of these." And I thought, really, I didn't even think about that. So I'm from the same. I have the same problem. Like,
well, I mean, for me, it was like in my brain, it was like, okay, that confirms what my sources have been telling me. So I'm good retweeting it. Now it's public. And then this is like, what if that's fake? It's like, oh yeah, I guess someone could have faked that and like just happened to have been right with my sources. But then what if that was, what if there was all sorts of misinformation going on? That could have been really bad. And I mean, just that, even though I had the information to confirm it, as far as I knew, like my stomach went right up into my throat and I'm like, oh my God, did I just accidentally tweet out something that was fake. The thought of lying to people consistently, like Shane, Monica, Ron Toye, they're definitely lying. All three of them. I can guarantee you that Toye, Rial, and Shane all know and are lying directly to you. I can guarantee you that they have some of the same information that I have and are lying directly to your face. I don't think Renfamous is lying because I think Renfamous is stupid.
There you go.
And I don't think she has any information. This is just for her trying to grab into the industry. Like, there's outrage. I've got to go find it and chase that dragon or whatever. Or maybe it's a dragon dildo with her. I don't know.
Either way, they're all dragons, right?
But yeah. So, but I can guarantee you that Shane, Rial, and Toye are lying specifically because I know that some of the information that I have, that they have the same stuff. And that's really embarrassing for them.
Yeah.
And I think they must think that I don't have the info.
That's it. They think that because they've gotten, a receipt here or, a discussion there, that they think that that's the end all, that you can't have your way about it. And that's so absurd. They should have learned that by now. They should have learned that from before, where you were actually more informed than they were on subjects. They were sitting out there posturing, and some of them, I think, actually posture because they really do think that, they're the end all to all of this. You actually know more because they only want to cover a specific angle to it. You're trying to look at the whole picture as well. So it involves more people, more information, and there's so many sources out there. That's the beautiful thing about it too.
Yeah. Darius Stryker, I got 2 chats, and then let's talk about that Sabbat thing. I think that'll be interesting. Darius Stryker says, in my family, we have a 3-generation tradition of giving our memoirs to the next. I used to be an SJW in the 90s/2000s. These social justice shadows are just embarrassing. Now a comic will accompany those chapters. So there you go. Thank you for that. I think he's referring to your comic.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Passed down.
Yeah. That's awesome. It's good that it's also good. What I took from that. It's also good that people wake up to the idea that these crazy, I think seeing how crazy SJWs are getting is waking a lot of people up to, the people before, in you were saying the 90s and on, what you would consider a social justice person then. They may have been more of an activist or something else, I don't know. They may have not been this level of insane. I think this level of insane even turns off a lot of people, a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, even their followers, right? Like when this stuff started, oh, hey, there's Ethan in the chat. Hey, buddy. He says, thanks for the chat, Ethan. He says, I'm intrigued by all of this. Tug, grats on 20K. 25K is next.
Thank you, man. Yeah. Props to Ethan. One of the things I always try to throw in there in my conversations with this stuff, if people don't watch EVS or Comic Artist Pro Secrets, they should. I've always been particularly, I guess I'm going to use the word loyal with EVS because that guy actually kept me in comics. I was ready to drop out of comics after I had my taste of prose, and that guy actually kept a lot of us around, because he's a capitalist, but also because he likes comic book consumers, both of those are good. If you're motivated by money, cool. If you're motivated by fandom, great. But I mean, these crazies, these SJWs were driving us away in droves. I had my second day on Twitter, I got put on a blog bot. And I was asking, what is it? Because I was boomering it up. I had no idea what the fuck a blog bot was. So
yeah, I'm with you. I still don't.
Yeah. So I asked, what is this in a message with diversity in comics? And I noticed a particular pro screenshot that, share it, and above it they said, because you're a Nazi piece of shit. That's why I was blocked by people I was spending lots of money, going and basically filling their fucking refrigerators and, all of that. So seeing that, seeing a person attached to Spider-Man and on, liking this stuff, after a little while, it gets old, and that guy that kept a lot of people in and encouraged people to voice why they want to hang around. Yeah. I have loyalty to that. And, that guy actually has built up a lot of indie pros. He helped me out, and that's, I don't know. There are not a lot of people like that. So anyway,
yeah,
that's my
not to hand job Ethan too hard, but that guy has done more for more people than a lot give him credit for.
Hell yeah.
Helping out with crowdfunding efforts, getting people exposure who didn't otherwise have it, encouraging people, and generally being like and I say this with all the love that it can possibly be, but the Billy Mays of indie comics.
There you go. Yeah, he can be a barker, a very effective one. I mean, the guy knows that industry, and again, the worst criticism I hear from him is he's got an ego. Well, no shit, he's
good. Have one.
Yeah, be a capitalist too. Always motivated by money. Fucking A, all of us. If you don't like money, I don't trust you. I don't understand you. What are you, you fucking alien entity?
Yeah, what's your motivation if it's not money? Because that scares me, actually. Like, I can gauge what people's motivations are that when it's money. I've got a special super chat that they asked at the end of your stream, and then they brought it over here. So I want to address it. It's from Devil Hunter Nero. He says, "Hey there, Nick and Tug. I asked a question at the end of Tug's stream, and he said to ask you. And is what Kamea-Con did with the tour considered a bait and switch tactic, which is illegal? Your thoughts?" My thoughts are no. They're not. It's not illegal. It makes the con look really bad, but we have some information about it which may help sort that out. Let's talk about that real quick.
Sure.
So guys, we can't read this email to you because the person who got it is not wanting to be outed in any way. So I'm gonna read this thing with some selective editing, but let me just read this. It says, "Sorry for the short notice." And then it said that Chris Sabbat had a tour planned for the weekend. He was asked to make some changes to the tour. He refused to make the changes and let the event be canceled. Then Kamea-Con expects some feedback from that because the event was sold out, and was very expensive. So there you go. That's a interesting sort of development here.
The cost of the, just looking at it from an outside optic, I was thinking $500 for this thing. People spent, if I were wanting to go and get a tour, how much money would I spend? If a person's willing to fork out that kind of scratch to go and get that, then
$550 a ticket, and you could only bring one person. I mean, I've done meet and greets with major, performing artists that don't cost that much a ticket. It's crazy to think of.
I was stunned by the price there, and then to cancel it right before, what an insult. And again, for Dragon Ball looks particularly bad right now, period. It doesn't matter the reasoning behind it. If I were totally wrong about reasoning behind it, it doesn't matter. It's the consumer optic. When the consumer decides you're going out and you're trying to fuck them over, that's the reality. That makes reality. These people should be doing everything they can right now to go out and salvage that consumer relationship.
Yeah, I'm actually, Kamea-Con needs to be more transparent about this, in my opinion. They need to be out in front and talking about it. And frankly, they need to lay the blame where it goes. Because, I mean, this is a private email, but if unless Kamea-Con is lying in the email, unless that's happening, basically, Sabbat's the one to blame because something needed to change. Don't know from who. My money's on Toei. My money's on Toei Entertainment asking for changes. And again, I'm basing that on the fact that they had to remove the Prince of All Saiyans label for it, and they had to remove the art. I say had to, I don't know, but they did. And it doesn't make sense to rename the Prince of All Saiyans tour and remove the picture of Vegeta, to change it to the Okratron Studio Tour and put a picture of a microphone up, unless that came down from the rights holder, which seems like Toei Entertainment. And running hand in hand with that, we got the announcement today that due to unexpected circumstances, Ryo Horikawa is not coming to the convention as well, which is that's the Japanese voice of Vegeta. And I'll tell you guys, I said the same thing about, and I gave hints about this yesterday. I said, keep a watch because something else might manifest for Kamehacon. I had heard that Ryo Horikawa was not coming, and I had heard that a while ago. I don't know if they were negotiating, trying to get him to come, but let me tell you what I've heard on that. I've heard, cannot confirm this. This is preliminary info. I've heard that this is a result of Toei for some reason being upset about what's been going on. Now, I don't know if they're upset at Kamehacon. I don't know if they're upset at Funimation VAs. I don't know if the Re-Patrol reached out to Toei and screamed at them to get involved, miscalculating what Japan cares about. I don't know what that is, but that's the information that I've got. I think they're all related. It's very, very weird. I think Sabbat is a pile of garbage for not actually openly disclosing that when he was talking about his signing schedule and stuff today, and not being out there. I mean, these people should be out. They're really ruining the experience for some of these fans, and they're not. They're just acting like it's no big deal. Like nothing happened.
Well, that's the problem. Denial only lasts for so long, especially when you have pissed off fans behind it that are actually the reality. I mean, it's they're going to again. I think the conventions are in bad places right now too. That's one thing that I hate for conventions. I don't know what's going on with this specific convention. I can't say how their mindset is in handling, everything, on deciding to wait to a 2-day window, what's going on. They did try to refund. They did try to, they did that pretty quickly, when they found out everything, and they got, they've got to be worried about blowback for sure. They've got to be worried about that, but I don't know. I don't know if there's a good way. Conventions need to wake the fuck up, though. They need to stop dealing with these people. They need to put down ironclad contracts. They need to do things. They need to handle them differently. And they need to quit handling D-list celebrities with kid gloves.
Yeah, they need to run their convention like these are substantial businesses.
Yeah, come on. I mean, this is, this kind of thing will ruin it or has the potential to ruin next year. I wouldn't believe them openly. If I have an experience where I shell out thousands of bucks to get there, for me, like for Anime Matsuri, I figure the cost that I'm going to end up forking out will be $2,500 usually for the all in, for plane, everything else. Now maybe it'll cost more, I don't know, but that if I were going for a specific thing and I spent that kind of money, I live in the rural South. Come on, that is a lot of money. When I could when I can pay, I can have a 4-bedroom home here for rent for around $600. That's 4 months plus of rent there. That
Yep.
I mean, to put it in perspective.
It's wild how much people are spending on this stuff and them just acting like, well, too bad. So that's why, and personally, I think if Kamehacon wants to persist in the business, going forward next year and the next year, that they would build a lot of trust with the community if they just flat out put it on the table and said, look, because they've done great things, right? Bringing Vic back, hugely popular, way more popular than any of the other stuff that's gone on. So they bring Vic back. That's great. Monica has her hissy fit and leaves. Fine. Some nobodies drop out. Who cares? They add 9 people after losing 4. Great. It's a better convention. But now
Yes,
they
very
lose. So they've made a lot of effort to make this convention better. But then they lose Sabbat's tour and they lose Ryo Horikawa. They need to be upfront with who's driving it. In my opinion, that's what they should be doing, because they need to keep their credibility. And listen, the Sabbats and the Ryals, their credibility, one, if it's not already in the commode, it's going. I mean, it's getting flushed. Make no mistake, and that flushing starts in earnest probably on Monday, for at least some of these people. It's going to get the temperature is going to get turned up the second lawsuits get filed, because everything becomes public, and all of their little antics get put on paper in black and white text. And trust me, your jokes are funnier in black and white text. Your transgressions are worse in black and white text.
Yes, there you go. There you go. That's damn. I don't know. I keep watching this. I keep watching this special type of stupid as it plays out over and over again. And I think, is it entertainment that breeds this? I mean, is that why we see such high concentrations of it? Is it that Rockstar mentality that, again, I think a lot of us actually contributed to? No offense to anyone, myself included there. We pay money for assholes to sign stuff for us because, we told them they were special, and it's kind of our fault that they bought into it. So if they turn out to be assholes that think that they're special and they can mistreat us, but again, I wonder if that's just a byproduct of entertainment, especially.
Yeah, I think it is one, and this is something that I think is shared uniquely between comics, modern comics, and the anime dubbing community, is that these people are, and I said this in Comicsgate stuff, and I'll say it now, they're walking into other people's IP and treating it as if they did something special. Like Sean Schemmel is been given Goku, right? He's not the first Goku. He's not the only Goku. He's just the current Goku. He didn't create it. He didn't create the voice of the character. He didn't create the voice of the character. He didn't do that. He's just the guy doing it right now. But he acts like he's Goku, and fans treat him like he's Goku. Same thing with Sabbat. He's like, what, the 4th or 5th Vegeta? Real's the 4th or 5th Bulma. These people are walking into IP. Same thing with a lot of these comics creators who are walking onto properties that they didn't create. They're not adding something to it. They don't realize that they're just a job, right? They're the person who's getting put on this project. But then they're running with it like, oh, I am Spider-Man or whatever it is, whatever major property these people are getting into. And it's not something that they made, but there's similarities for me as an outsider looking at that. There's similarities there where these people they're riding the coattails of the IP, and that's going to their head as, oh, I did this. It's like that, what is that, that little comic strip? It's like, I made this, and he hands it to someone, the person says, you made this, and then the next panel they say, no, I made this, right? And that's what it looks like to me. I don't know. Am I way off on that, or what do you think, Doug?
I don't think so at all, actually. When one of the things I do think that people are waking up to, I think you caught it in some of that statement there. People are waking up to the idea that the guy who voices Goku, he isn't Goku. The guy who plays Superman, he isn't Superman. These people are. It reminds me of when I started looking at social media, it reminded me of the image of the professional that we imagine. It's like a dinosaur out there. It's antiquated. And then social media crashes in like a meteorite, and it reveals all. And when it reveals all, people stop paying for that extra. They stop thinking that person is decent. They see them for who they are in real time. And oh man, we keep seeing more and more. I hate it, because at the end of the day, like I want my escapism. We do all types of jobs out there. Some of us deal with real problems in the way, like, you may deal with dangerous human beings. You deal with a much worse setup than mean words on the internet. So you come in,
Yeah.
you have an opinion, and these people act like it's the fucking end all. Oh my God, you said due process? Well, that's fucking harassment. I need to burn your life down. It's like, really? Are you, I don't know.
Oh, it's ridiculous. And yeah, I mean, some of us have to deal with like I deal with people in bad spots who are mad, right? So I get that sort of thing. And then I also get judges, and judges are terrible. And prosecutors, who are some of the worst people on earth. But that's who I deal with. So mean words on the internet don't bother me. I get mean words in judges' chambers from men in robes who can really make my career a pain in the ass. The Big Red Bear, he sent this a while ago, and I want to make sure and get to it. It says, they effing ruined them, and in brackets, that's comics. It's been ruined for years. Grant Morrison's X-Men got me to literally sell all of my comics. He ruined 3 of my 5 favorite characters. Why would I want to read about a bunch of degenerate people? We'll change that to people. They're not even heroes. So there you go. I'm not familiar with the changes. Again, I don't follow the industry, so I have no idea what changes happened with Grant Morrison. And I don't know if you do or not.
No, not really.
Okay, that's fine. We'll just move on from that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've seen a couple people in the chat ask about Ryo Horikawa and pulling out of the convention. Now, my sources suggest that Ryo Horikawa did not want to pull out of this convention. My sources suggest that Ryo is not like Kick Vic and is like, I got to pull out of this. That it's something unrelated to that, and might be coming down from above him. So I don't know what that is, but again, I'm going with my theory number 3, that Japan is pissed because they had a huge moment with Broly in the United States, being a giant release, major motion picture release, doing pretty well especially for an anime dub, doing pretty well in theaters, both in the US and globally. And then now all anyone is talking about at the main convention is not how great the Broly movie was, but how idiotic all of these voice actors have been. And I think Japan is pissed off about that because right now they look at their IP and they see a giant turd. But I didn't know if you had any thoughts on that, Tug, if you wanted to address that at all. But
I don't know. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not really. I don't have a lot on that.
It's a weird one because from, again, my info suggested that this was coming and suggested that it was coming down from Japan, but the info that I don't have is why. The info that I don't have is why.
I hate applying conjecture. My problem is, like, I can apply conjecture to things, but I'm trying to be much better than the other side. Like for yourself, if you make a quote unquote guess, you've got a lot of information there. I feel like I don't have enough information it would just be conjecture if I throw something at it to imply a why. And I think we see a lot of that from the other side out there, and they look like fucking buffoons all the time because they do it. So
I think if anyone thinks that Ryo Horikawa is not showing up because of this Me Too garbage, I think they don't understand Japan.
Right.
Listen, Japan is the company of the country of Dead or Alive Scarlet, right? Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. That's Japan, right? They're making their version or their views on women are not compatible with Western feminism. They're not. Yeah. And they don't release some of the games here.
penny machines and Western fit. Yeah, they don't fit together. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
No, actually, I
So
mean, you look at the products. That's a beautiful thing that I love about anime, manga, and on. If you look at the products that are created, you could not make them. You could not make them here. These people, I guess you could, but nobody would have the balls to make them here. I guess that's a better way of saying it.
right. I mean, I have to imagine the people who do on Steam, right? These anime visual novels that are being made, these, oh, excuse me, like basically like borderline hentai games that are coming out, but they're all made, you can tell, pretty independently because they're all based on like obviously a similar sort of thing where they've got a mini game and then they've got pictures. We'll call them adult pictures. Those things have to do well because people make them constantly on Steam, and I imagine, and they all have tons of reviews, so I imagine they're doing just fine. However, for a major studio to come out, they would face the re-patrol constantly, and they don't want to deal with that type of stuff. Whereas in Japan, you can have major studios making games that are just homage to butts and tits, and people will buy it. And no one will really, they'll either ignore whatever criticism they get, or people won't criticize it. It's a completely different culture. So to consider that Ryo would not come because of this Me Too stuff on Vic, I think is a very, very thin theory. I don't see any evidence of that.
No,
But,
see, I would have to have a lot more evidence to truly imply something like that. I'd have to see it. I would, because that just sounds like people wanting to apply rules that we look at, and specific ways of thinking. But that's, yeah.
yeah. and so that I don't like to speculate either, but we're here. People are asking. My money right now is on Toei flexing on the tour, demanding changes of from Sabbat, which he was not willing to make for whatever reason. And there's a lot of speculation on what those reasons might be, because making changes to the tour changes the contract, and if it allows him an out of that contract, that's kind of an important thing. Because maybe he wanted to cancel the tour already for some other reason, but was given some ultimatum, and he's like, oh, okay, well, now I just have an out. Maybe that's true. I don't know. But where is that coming from? My guess is Japan flexing on something. And then combining that with Ryo Horikawa, my guess is still on Japan doing that. I can't imagine that. I can't fathom any VA from Dragon Ball not wanting to be at this convention. They all stand to make an absolute fortune, except for maybe Monica, because who cares about Bulma? But I mean, really, and I'm not joking about that. She's a side character. She's very big in other shows. In Dragon Ball, she's got a small role that some people like, but I think is mostly irritating. And
there you go. Yeah, there you go. At the end of the day, yeah.
Right.
Small role, irritating, and honestly replaceable. That's been the beauty of this stuff. Did you also, when they were telling people to go to the alternative signing spot? Did you see the safety? Somebody pulled up, like, I guess it's Crime Report. That's the
yeah, it's in a much worse part of town.
Yeah, you go from this beautiful stadium. It's set up. It looks great, to this. I'm not trying to insult the place by saying this, but I mean, it's a tiny spot, and it's got, you go from no crimes to, I guess within the year, there had been 280 different types of crimes that had happened in the vicinity.
Yeah. And now I've been to Frisco, Texas. I've stayed in Frisco, Texas a couple times, with friends. And, you know what? Like, parts of Frisco are very, very nice, but it's a metro suburb, so you never know. You could be in one part of Frisco and it could be very, very nice. For instance, the Cowboys training facility is in Frisco. Lots of new business there. I think that's on the north side of Frisco. There's a lot of expansion and a lot of money up in that part of Frisco. But where this thing is, I don't know. I don't know if that's the same sort of situation. And you could certainly have a place where you've got higher density housing and stuff and lower cost housing that's going to drive up things like crime. It's just going to happen. But it doesn't matter. Like even that's a funny sort of thing to point out that there's a higher crime rate, but it doesn't matter because no matter what, moving away from the con and to a less public place with private security that they've allegedly hired is less safe than the con. It's less safe than the con. That's the weirdest thing to me, that they would suggest that they would be more safe
with less security, less of a spotlight. But then again, I mean, they have to. I think they have to go all in on this narrative. If they do not apply fully, fully embrace the narrative that Vic is this monster. They also are actually trying to say that that it's not just Vic that's the danger. If you look at what Ron, I look at people's likes sometimes. And again, if you had one like out there, that doesn't mean anything. I may like something on accident. But if you keep liking dozens of things, that sets up something. You're agreeing with that. And he's been saying that I stand with Vic fans are dangerous, which that flies in the face of narratives. Monica was saying, hey, if you come to this other place and you bring something that was signed by Vic, I would sign it too, meaning yeah, you're welcome here, but you're dangerous if you're at the other place. It's it doesn't fit. They've gone all in on a narrative. They have to, give you that giant middle finger there, and you're supposed to just, suck it. If you don't, then you're a harasser.
Yeah. That well, of course, here's how this always goes, right? Here's how this always goes. I've been harassed. I've been death threatened, right? They've always been death threatened, haven't they? Have you ever seen a death threat, Tug? Have you ever seen one?
Yeah, an actual death threat.
I mean, in any of these movements or whatever. Oh, I don't mean in general, because of course you've seen a death threat.
The only thing, okay, I've seen threats like, I got a weird email the other day. My wife takes these more seriously than I do. There's a lot of stupid people out there, and this person, they're barely literate, and yeah, if you wrote that letter to me, it's very, very stupid. You need to learn how to spell. But it goes in and it says that, there's the old saying about things that you love, like family. Again, I'm paraphrasing: family, kids, and how they can be removed with baseball bats. That's kind of a threat. I got one of those, kind of a threat. But I don't take any of this shit really, that kind of serious. I've seen threats that have been out there in retrospect, but they're normally aimed at people like that stuff that was aimed at Jeremy Hambly before he got attacked. Yeah, you could go back and after the fact see this person was threatening him, but nah.
Yeah,
I don't see anybody producing death threats. I've never seen a voice actor. I kept hearing about it in comics. Oh, we get death threats. Really? Where is one of them? I've never had one.
Yeah, that's the thing that I mean, I know they happen, but until I see one, just because you say you got one, I disbelieve it. I disbelieve it inherently, because it's so easy to say, oh, I've been threatened. I've got a death threat. And it's like, wait, was someone telling you to lynch yourself or something? That's not a death threat. That's a meme. Someone say walk off a cliff. That's not a death threat. That's a meme. But they act like it's so easy to say. That's my problem with it. It's so easy to say. And if they did get a death threat, please put it out there for us to disavow it or whatever, and go after the person. I don't think anybody wants death threat.
No, nobody wants anytime something comes up that's remotely weird or crazy, people in fandoms do not want that shit. They don't want it attached to them. They won't want it attached to any of their movements, because if people attach that to you know, a movement, it kind of defeats the purpose of something. Now, some asshole trolling out there may say something crazy, you know, just to come in and, you know, have a few laughs, have a few, you know, jollies here. But of course, you know, there's always going to be somebody doing it for the lulz. Like when you actually look at any movement I've seen where you see the main people I can recognize. I know what a sock account looks like by now and things like that. People I actually recognize that aren't sock accounts or anything. I don't see that shit. I don't see that shit happening, you know. But of course, you know, there's always going to be somebody out there that says, oh, well, that one person out there that, you know, of course, that account that was created, you know, a minute ago, it posted like 3 times and it never posts again. Yeah, that was a real person threatening people.
Right. Caleb Cooney says, if you're right about Toei wanting changes to be made for Sabbat's tour in speculation and possible hindsight later on, is Toei going to pull video game IP from Okratron 5000? I don't know. But I'll tell you what. If that's what's going on, then the Funimation people and the Okratron people, whoever, they better take notice. If Japan is not having anything to do with this, better take notice, and they'll know, right? They'll know what's going on because they'll be the ones receiving that communication. They'll know that Japan is unhappy with what's happening, and then they'll have the opportunity to change. And I'm gonna say it again. First guy to flip gets the best deal. 9, 10 times out of 10. First person to turn over information and cooperate gets the best deal. You guys know, what you've done. You probably know what the other people have done because you've probably been conspiring about this the entire time. You know the lawyer of Vic. You know if you call him, you can probably work out that deal. Just think real hard about how loyal all of these people you're sticking by have been till now. Think about that and think how much you want to risk being the second guy. Because eventually someone doesn't get the deal, right? Eventually someone gets the judgment. I wouldn't want to be that guy. That's me. I wouldn't want to be that guy. These people are not loyal. They're happy to stab each other in the back. And if you've got indications that Japan is pissed at you and thinking about pulling licenses, you might want to work on your strategy. Because if Japan's going to pull licenses, what are you going to do when Dragon Ball's gone?
There you go. That's a question. They're gonna suffer. They're basically gonna drown, and people are going to get over it. Everyone except for the company and the people that were supposed to be making money off of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Siren Jag, he sent this chat before the stream started, and for some reason my program is not allowing me to access it. So he sent, here in Castle Anthrax, we have but one punishment for setting alight the grail-shaped beacon. You must tie her down on a bed and spank her. You must spank her well, and after you have spanked her, you may deal with her as you like, and then spank me. Thank you for the Monty Python reference, Siren Jag. One of my all-time favorites, of course. Have a good night, buddy. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know. I'm with you guys, right? Like, I have a bunch of information, but right now most of that information is played out, and I am now in the stands watching for what happens on Monday, watching for the chimp outs that are going to occur as people start getting bigger and bigger packets of paper. from a certain Texas law firm. I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm dying. I'm dying over here, Tug.
It's gonna be beautiful. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's see. So we've talked about Sabbat. We've talked about Ryo Horikawa. We've talked a little bit about the stuff you've been getting on this. Do we want to circle back to that? Because I think, you know, we talked about it early and not everybody was in here. But was there anything else you could add to that? Because I mean, I think oh,
you know, somebody asked me a question. You know, they actually asked, you know, I was talking before. They said, you know, he just said, you don't take a lot of the threats seriously. Why are you reacting to this? Because these are okay. This is a person that starts this stuff, a person that has been rewarded by the industry for terrible behavior. Comic book industry, they promote terrible behavior, and they go to such a lowly place that they start targeting a 5-year-old kid. That's fucked up. You know, if you can't see a problem with that, then either you're wearing blinders or, you know, you're probably one of the people that's doing that. If you really can't see the issue with it. These people have been out, they either they want to say that I put a comic together that, you know, I can share with my kid later. Again, she can remember how crazy her dad was, you know, fun times there. And for that, I've had either her targeted, I mean, ridiculous amount of just ugliness, just vile comments toward her and on, which spill over into her live stream time and stuff, you know, and our community doesn't do that. Again, people treat her like family. Or they've been going out and saying, oh, you know, that guy there is a pedo for putting together a comic with, you know, basically for my kid and featuring her there. And then they complain about things like, oh, you know, avatar. Why do you have to, you know, that's your kid there. Yeah, my kid has to have an avatar because you pieces of shit are so crazy that if you knew what my kid looked like, there is the real possibility you might shove a brick in her face, you know, and that's fucked up. And it says a lot about you, you know. I've always found it amazing that the real possibility of violence is there. For myself, I don't take these people seriously because if they fuck with me, I will. I live in I live in a carry and conceal state. I do very well carry, and I don't worry about people. But for a 5-year-old, that's different. And I know very much they will come after your life and livelihood. They've done that to me already. Yeah, but they've been going after her. They've been doing everything they can, and all because I had the audacity to ask for better products, to ask for professionalism. And when that didn't happen, I went with, you know, I could either cling to the apron strings of dead industry, or I could let go and go do my own thing. And if you're still clinging to that shit, supporting that shit, look at these people. Look at what they reward. You know, try something better. I'll tell you, you back me. And if I'm treating you like shit, then if you mention that, I'll try not to. I'll at least try to hear people. I try, you know. I mean, if you know,
that's
now
been
the
the
other side,
difference.
then Ren will be like, I'm a consumer too. No, Ren, you're a special case. I'll treat you like shit the rest of your life.
Oh, wait. Ren is definitely a consumer.
Yeah, Ren she consumes all right.
Ren
you know?
is consuming at an alarming rate.
Yeah, you know, mackerel.
What was I going to say? That's been the difference, though. That's been the real difference, the stark difference between both Comicsgate and this Kick Vic Stand with Vic stuff, is that one side treats the customers like garbage and the other side treats the customers like their customers.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, all their fucking complaints too. It's kind of like what I hear about it, Nick Rekieta. I'm gonna throw this out there. So, Nick Rekieta, he only does this stuff for the money. Okay, if that were the case, which is not the case, I can testify to that. Getting to even talk about this stuff is, you know, it's not like I got to slip a Rekieta a $5 or anything. Actually, you make more money than that, so I'd have to slip you more. But
yeah, it's all about that. You better put that
Benjamin
down.
You'd be like, what the fuck is that saying? No. But no, I mean, if that were the only case, so if you went out and you did good for Vic Mignogna, you put together you started a GoFundMe, you helped, with setting up with Ty Beard, you've done all of this explaining. If it was totally for the monetary incentive, first of all, that's fine with me. But second of all, is that such a bad thing? Is that terrible? You've done good in life, and if you did it for a monetary consideration, if that's their insult, then fuck them. I mean, what is the point there?
You know why that's their insult? Look
Why
at
is that?
them.
Yeah,
Like you
because
said,
they're socialists.
Shane, well, no, because they're embarrassingly unsuccessful. Like, first of all, don't get me wrong here. Not, I'm not dumping on any general level of socioeconomic status. I'm really not, because people are at different stages in their lives at all times. And so some people will be doing very well financially. Other people will be in small apartments. It depends on where you are in your life, the situations, the circumstances. That's fine. This is separate from that. I have been in government assistance housing, and then I have been where I am now, where my house is very, very nice in a very nice secluded place. And you know what? In a couple years, something weird could happen, and I could be back in government assistance housing. Let's be very clear about that before I say this. But here's the thing. The people who are coming after guys like me, guys like you, Flash, whoever, for making money, can't make money. They all seem to talk about it, right? Shane's like, oh, I make 6 figures and my kid's college is paid for. Shane, you live in a shoebox. You ate the contents and moved in. That's, he lives in this tiny little apartment. And so all of the evidence is contrary to the idea that he's this massively successful IT guy who makes a bunch of money. Renfamous, you live in an embarrassing duplex in one of the ghettoest cities in the world. And don't get me wrong, I love that city very much. But like, sweetie, your house looks like a Taliban compound, and you only get a tiny portion of it. Like, these people are talking about other people making money because they can't and because they're not. That's the problem with them. Why are they coming after you so hard? Your book is hit, you're over 21,000, I believe.
All right. There we go. Yeah, and let's see if they've moved since we've been talking. Let's just check. Oh, they did make some money. They're at $14,024.
But you're oh my gosh, you're $7,000 higher.
Yeah,
you're $7,000 higher.
They lost money now. They're at 13,944. Sorry.
Oh no, that's embarrassing. So like you're gaining, you're being successful. They hate, when did it ramp up, right? Because you, me, Flash, we've all been saying the same things for a while now. We've been talking about the same subjects, making fun of the same people. But when did they really come after you?
Yeah, it's just like when they came out. Why did they come after Nick Rekieta and try to call him a racist? Call him the blackface lawyer. Oh, because they want to add the qualifier too. Because if the internet lawyer or the blackface lawyer, they want the qualifier, because the thing that comes after is the actual information. If you're not an istophobe and all of that shit, if there's no qualifier, then oh man, people actually start listening to you. Oh damn. And yeah, you became, I'm going to say this, you can agree or not, it doesn't matter, but I would say you are the most recognized voice that has stood for due process. I like the hashtag I stand for Vic, but really we stand for due process. It's not just about Vic. It's about heading off crazy people that were going to burn over 30 other pros down. That was the plan. And they fucked up, they fucked up because they picked a fight with the wrong people.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like it's pretty clear. I'm an outsider to the anime community. I had never been to a con before this year. I've been to one now. I'll have been to 2 soon. And I hope to make it to 3 or 4 by the end of the year. But and Vic, I had heard his name once, like 6 months ago. And I was like, oh, that's what the voice of Broly looks like. Cool. but that was it. I didn't know anything about him, his situation, but what I saw was a guy being railroaded with nothing. And that offended me on the legal level. And it's like, so yes, it was, for me, it was very much a stand with due process. And I think for most people it is, because I think a lot of people, if these people would produce the evidence that they swear to God that they have, we promise it's just going to come out later. If they just produce it and show him to be the horrific predator that they say he is, you know, most of us are not cool with that. But
No.
put it out there. Like,
Yeah,
where is it?
Well, yeah, that's the problem. When most of us understand that if you stand in a queue line and, you know, Vicks, you may wait for hours to see that guy, and you get out there, you take a picture with him, and he gives you a hug there. That's not you getting sexually assaulted. I hate to tell you that. And you're not going to think, it was okay, it was the greatest thing. But 3 years later, after I dyed my armpits blue, I suddenly realized that was him molesting me. No.
There's a guy, Bill Whitaker, says they plan to attack 30 more people. Where does that come from? There's a document.
Yeah.
There's a document.
Yeah,
Vic was first on the list.
Anime News Network was putting together. You can actually find there's still a Polygon article about it. What happened was let me see what his name is. It's Justin something. I can't remember.
Savakis?
Yeah. So he's the founder or co-founder of Anime News Network. They're putting together this list of sexual harassers, sexual abusers, and on in the comic industry, or the anime industry, so they can attack them. And oopsie, his name gets added to it too. Now they all go into damage control, but sadly, Polygon picks up the article and is like, oh, you know, he's on there. And these people are trying to say, well, in this article, it's a fascinating read because they're saying he's not a bad guy. He didn't do this. So they're saying, hey, this is not, this thing is definitely flawed, but it's still a great thing. They're still trying to weaponize it, but it doesn't fly that well. You see, I personally think that's why Habercorn came up when he did, because I think they were going to move to him as well. I think
he's up top on the he's high on the list.
Yeah, man, he fits all the, you know, he fits all of the, you know, all of the check boxes for that. You know, he's somebody that enjoys life. He goes out. He doesn't kowtow to these people. So fuck it. You got to burn him down. First, though, you got to burn down that white male Christian, the guy that votes the wrong way, the guy that treats fans great. And if rumor is to be believed, again, I cannot confirm this, but I feel very good about saying this. I've talked about a level of knowledge on it. I feel pretty confirmed in saying, or feel pretty good in saying that Sabbat and him, they had a little out at one time, from what I understand. And I've heard this from a few sources at a con. And the way it was, you know, this particular out, they've probably had a few, but this was about the way you treat people. And after somebody goes out and, you know, shows disrespect to the guy that didn't get them there, and that guy feels like, you know, he's now in charge, those people, they'll hold a grudge. You know, you see it in all other kinds of businesses. They'll hold a grudge and they'll try to burn your fucking life down. And I believe that somebody may be indeed transferring his own sins, but I also believe there are other things behind the scenes. Vic basically took professionalism seriously, and for that, he got the shaft.
Yeah, I think that's got something to do with it, and I've heard similar things to what you've heard. But I have to applaud you, because that's a fascinating read. That's the only time that has ever been applied to a Polygon article.
There you go. I didn't say it had any integrity or anything.
No. Fascinating read was good enough.
Fascinating read. It was very interesting to see how they tell you that it's flawed, so you've got to remove this guy, but you still need to go out and check out this list, which they ultimately dumped the list, but they put it together. They also they put another list together a long time ago. They crowdfunded it, and they refer to that staircase all the time. They refer to it in multiple things. There's 3 articles that have pulled it up, but it was a crowdfunded item, and that thing had a lot of information on it. And in fact, it was kind of scary. It felt like a way to not just target a person's life, but livelihood and on. It felt like a step-by-step instruction guide on how to ruin a person, and I don't know. Did you ever see that book, that Destroy a Man Now book?
I haven't looked into it, but I've seen the cover and stuff like that, and read
I've got
the
a
description.
I've got a copy of it. It is definitely, they should just call it Vic Mignogna Blow by Blow, because
Yeah,
it
that's what
really,
I've heard. It's just it's the playbook.
it is, man. It's scary to and again, some people say, well, that was maybe written by a man. Well, it doesn't really matter who wrote it. The idea that there is a playbook that shows this, and it's it's applied over and over again to different people's lives. That's scary as hell, man.
Real quick, there's a chat. There are 2 chats I need to address. But a lot of people are asking where the link to the article or where the link to the spreadsheet. Chaotic Vic has been posting the link to the spreadsheet in the chat. Chaotic Vic, feel free to drop that a couple times so people see it. It's not spam or anything. That's fine. The Polygon article says "Fixing the Broken Staircase," I think is the title of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll pull it up. I've got it linked in here somewhere. I've been organizing stuff, so
while you do
I'll
that,
pull it up.
I'll read these chats.
Oh, well, I'm not gonna pull it up right. I mean, I'll pull it up and post it online or something.
Yeah, okay. So
I'm
check.
too lazy to post it right now.
Follow Tug's Twitter or whatever.
I'm too sorry, folks. I'm a little too lazy to do that. But
now,
anyway.
if I'm hearing rumors that Toei is in the chat, which I have a huge doubt that Toei Animation or one of their representatives is in the chat specifically. However, if Toei does happen to see this stream and does happen to see this part, I would love to talk to someone from Toei.
Yes,
we have many things to discuss, and I can get you into contact with the most important people in this story, who would love to talk to you as well. So if Toei hears this, please send me an email. I'm all ears. Okay, this is from Dubler. If hypothetically I wanted to hurt or kill someone, the last thing I'd do is warn them, unless I thought it'd scare them into a less secure facility, but you'd have to know your target is really stupid. Wait, okay, that's a joke. Just to be clear, that's a joke. Everybody. But yeah, that's one thing. The death threat is typically the threat. I don't know how often death threats are followed up upon, but it's about the threat, and real death threats are not acceptable ever, absolutely not. The problem is I just doubt that they are actually occurring.
Yeah, come on. I mean, why can't you produce one? Produce it, show it off. It's kind of like in articles. I'll hear about with comics. I heard, hey, this person, they got several death threats. And they reported that. Now, that would go further, and as it's sourced away, as you have later generations of that sourcing to that claim with no substantiation, they treat it like the claim is substantiation. And that's a garbage way to go about that. Yeah, just show me one, show me what's there, and let me decide if it's some jackass out there just having a little fun, or if it's actually a dangerous threat.
99 times out of 100, it's the first one.
Yeah. I mean, it's, and I'm not trying to make excuses for anyone for anything like that, but come on, and in a world where Twitter where Twitter posts hurt these delicate fifis, they should try to run like a YouTube channel. You get all kind of crazy and and it's part of it. It's fun. I'm not discouraging people if you want to post crazy, and if you want to disagree with me, and if you want to tell me, whatever, if you want to be absolutely nasty about it. It's cool. That's part of the game. But these people, they can't abide by that. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
I agree. You know, get made fun of all the time. That's fine.
Yeah, shit. That's part of it, dude. Like, I mean,
Make it
you
funny, please.
yeah,
That's all I
that's the one
ask.
thing I ask troll. Like, if you're gonna troll something, be funny. Come on, like it's not a lot to ask. I don't care if you troll me. Just make it funny.
Dick Masterson always says, you know, stop complaining or complain funnier.
Yeah,
That's
there you go.
that's the
Dick
reality.
Masterson's, yeah, I'm actually glad you've had him on a few times. It really revitalized me checking it out and having fun there.
Yeah, he's great. I hope to have him on again. He actually got shafted um, by he was doing he had some live shows in Australia scheduled, and he hired a company to help him get do all the organization, and they completely dropped the ball on getting him the visa in time. And so he's like stuck in the US. He's supposed to be in Australia doing these live shows and can't because the company just boned him completely out of his entertainment visa. So I hope to have him on the show soon to kind of talk about it, because it's a real weird situation that most people don't run into. But it's really unfortunate because I know he works really hard on this stuff, and to hire someone, put your trust in them, and have them burn you is garbage. And it really, it impacts the fans and everything. Anyway, Vokun de Dinok. Vokun du Dinok says, settling is for chumps. Shane's chair deserves justice. It's time to legally make Columbine look like a fracking joke. Hashtag I sit with office chair Coon. There you go. Edgy. Vokun Dodinak followed up with, so when can we expect the animated Minecraft MLG montage parody music video? Oh God. No, I can't do those. My kids will watch it. That's all they watch, those Minecraft videos and Roblox videos and
Hey,
stuff.
let me throw this out there. I want to say something. And
Yeah.
there's a certain type of farmer, that certain type that loves to talk to you, and I want to give
the New Zealand farmers.
Yeah. I want to give one a specific shout out. Damien, here's to you. So I watch these guys. These people don't understand when they look at this place. They're not on anybody's side. They just like laughing at folks. They actually kept me very humble in this shit by saying, every one of you that gets involved into that, you're all a bunch of spurgs. You're fucking, everybody's looking at it and thinking you're spurgs in the arena of stupidity, and that's okay. I'm good with that. I love comics and whatever. If that makes me a spurg, awesome. I'll take that. But it keeps you humble in that. But I don't know. I enjoy watching their blow by blow, and they understand that the real the real shitty people out there, the people that you milk for laughs, those folks, I would say 90%, well, maybe more like 95% of them come from a specific way of thinking. So I enjoy those folks.
Yeah, well, I no short praise on the Kiwi farms here, but yeah, everybody needs to understand that here's why they're so valuable. Because if you screw up, they will roast you. They will spit roast you harder than Drexel and his dudes. Like, it doesn't there is no mercy for the mishap. Like, you better be on, because they're not in it for the side. They're in it to laugh. And they're absolutely independent in these things. And I think that's what I personally use them as a barometer, like trying to figure out, okay, am I, if I screw up, they'll tell me. Heck, they've made fun of me a little bit too, and that's fine. I don't know.
I don't care if people make fun of me, man. They make fun of me all day long. Fuck it. It's like I say, I mean, to get involved in this stuff, you have to be a particularly, a little bit crazy to get involved with some of this stuff. So yeah, it's just I don't know. I like it too. I actually do like sitting down and putting some of these psychopaths in their place. You know, it's actually there's fun in it. I like making fun of people too. Fuck them. I'll admit it. I don't want to play and be the nice guy or anything. I want to point my
Mockery is the
finger.
spice of life.
Yeah.
It,
Well, I
it
want to
really
monetize
is.
stupid. You know, I monetize stupid. If you don't want me to fucking make videos about you, and you know, you don't want me to monetize that, then don't fucking do stupid things. Don't take all of this stuff out and into the open and do it. I mean, come on.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, the Kiwi Farms has been fantastic, and yeah, keep doing what you're doing, guys. 100%. I don't. It's funny. I've been accused of like coordinating a harassment campaign through the Kiwi Farms, and the lunacy of that statement is great. Is
It
great.
just says
Like,
that people don't. You know,
yeah,
they of course, but it's the same people saying, you know, oh, I stand with Vic gets these folks to dox. Yeah, no. They
well,
again, that's you know, that's not the that's a very simplistic way of designing that idea.
it's the person who would Geppetto us in a heartbeat,
Yes.
right? The person who would real life vor us to death
For
is
us to do. That's all.
no, like that's she's still mad. She's still mad at them because they see right through her act. And that's
Because
the problem.
they owe these people nothing. They don't owe. It's like any of us. I mean, we don't. I don't owe a person in voice acting a fucking thing, a goddamn thing. I don't have to attach to them. I don't have to bow to them and worship them. I have no attachment. I can walk away in a cocaine heartbeat, basically. And these it's the same thing. These folks, they have even less attachment a lot of times. Many of them, though, are fans too. They're fans of this stuff, and they know it much better than these interlopers. I'm not saying that I'm by any means advanced in knowledge on certain things, but you know, these folks that brigade from one hobby to the other, they are fucking interlopers.
Oh yeah, and the people on the that's another thing with any sort of forum like that is you get such a broad spectrum of people, and they're all over the spectrum. you get a that's a joke. That's a joke.
I was going to say though, you know, one of the things I appreciate about places like that is free speech can be ugly, you know, and there's not a lot of it, and you've got to people give away their right to speech so easily. They give away their right to a lot of things because someone told you it was offensive. Well, fuck it, you know, let people say whatever they want out there and just don't tune into it, you know. And when you it's just it's so easy to go out and to look at the worst places and to notice those are just the places with the most freedom. You know, these people,
Yeah.
they just label them, and Kiwi Farms it's one of the few places you can actually have an opinion. You can you know, be side by side with other people shitting on whatever, and they you know, they disagree on it. I don't know, it's nice in its own way.
Yeah, absolutely. I got a couple chats here. Phoenix Lord Asserman says backer ID number 100 here. Congrats on all the success, Tug. I'm glad to see your book do so well, and the added bonus of freaking out the Twitter mobs is glorious. Can't wait to read it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, you know, it is a beautiful thing. If you want to go out and continue to piss off these folks that continue to ruin things, that would attack you in a heartbeat, again, ask for a better shade of pro. I'll at least try to be a better pro. I'll never get this fucking I'll never get the ego that these people have out there. But you get the added bonus of every time that number goes up and their numbers don't. Again, they have 30 plus pros attached to this. I have myself and 2 other dudes that I'm working with, and now we're going to have a colorist attached. So there will be 3 other guys, people that, you know, when you look at it, their resume, you probably have never heard of, because, you know, we didn't have any back alleys that we had to walk down, you know, to earn our way into the industry. Oh, unconfirmed.
You wouldn't want to be a certain kind of dumpster, would you? Adam GBK1 says, Nick, I just wanted to post some Vic relevant crap from this spreadsheet. Anyone interested in the stupidity It's even on the oh so respected Tumblr, the trashiest of trash. Just look at some of their talking points. Oh God, I'd rather not personally, but you guys are welcome to. We've got Rex says lawyer question. My job declared bankrupt, and they are chargeback of 1,000 that I already worked, and they didn't pay me the 1,300 they owe me that I worked already. What should I do? That's a question that I can't really answer over the stream. Over the stream, send me an email. I have better answers for you that way. Send me an email, rekietalaw@rekieta.org. Reference your super chat, and I will follow up with you, buddy. I definitely want to help you out, but that's those answers over a stream are a little too impersonal. Or the answers would be too personal to give over a stream, and I'd need some more information. Boken Do Dinok says those who would give up their rights in exchange for some temporary safety deserve neither. And I think the rest of that quote is and will lose both. And will lose both. But it's true. It's true. That's what you were saying, Tug. The worst places on the internet are the ones with the most freedom, and that's because that's the last place that the worst people can go.
And when I say worst, I would put that in hand quotes, you know, because we just have to adjust our thinking. They call it the worst, you know, just like it's a place where Nazis congregate. You know?
Oh, of course, all the Nazis out there, nothing but trains and ovens these days.
That's what actually in comics I thought. So you know, some of those super edgy people back in the days. Yeah, now you know, you have the chief financial officer of Image Comics talking about, well, those people over there, they
that guy sucks.
He's so crazy.
And
like,
Savage Dragon is a pile of trash. It's
got like kids porn in it. I mean, it's got there's a little Savage Dragon, and it's got like I'm gonna say a rape scene in it, and it's little kids, you know. And I thought this was setting side by side with you know, with Spider-Man #1 and #2, this kind of stuff. Yeah, it's just that's the bar. It's been set so low. They were like, oh well, you know, I could sell 2,000 copies if I continue to basically make it a porn mag. Otherwise, like, what can I do with it?
Yeah. Well, hey, I've got a bunch of like the backlog of super chats because I've just been doing the 20s to go through. Did you want to start that, or do you want to say anything before we get started?
No, just start into it. You know, I figure there's a couple in there that'll be, you know, I want to thank people too. I do want to thank people. If you've checked out the Indiegogo, if you are part of the reason that is moved, I appreciate you. You know, I appreciate you just checking it out. I appreciate you listening to me, you know, point my finger at these people and laugh, and also say it's fucked up that they've been targeting a little kid all day. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, and that absurd, like, these are the same people whining that someone reposted Dominique Sky's picture of her own child that she put out publicly. You can just Google Dominique Sky and find pictures and video that she has posted of her and her child. And these people are freaking out that someone would post the pictures that she put on her public social media. And this chick is a super thought. So of course she wants to drive traffic to that social media. They're freaking out about just reposting those pictures. These same people have no hesitation attacking your daughter. No hesitation. They're absolutely the biggest pieces of garbage on earth.
But they're joking today. Didn't you know they're joking today? That's what I've been told. You know, reposting a picture versus, you know, oh man, child welfare. They need to come to your home. They need to check on that. Oh, that was just a joke. They're talking about a fictional character. Really? So my kid is a fictional character? What the fuck are you talking about? You crazy pieces of shit. You fucking just loudmouth blue orca. I swear. You know, I never thought I'm making a special exception for certain people out there now. I've always said I do not believe in flagging and deplatforming, but hey, fuck you. You've been aiming at my shit for 2 days now, trying to deplatform it. So game on. We'll see who wins. We'll see who can deplatform the other person faster. If that's the game you want to play, it's a dangerous thing that these people. They want to remove people's platforms. They want to go and to try to shut them down all the time because they're just jealous or hateful or whatnot. And I mean, they don't want other people playing that game though. It's a really easy game to play. All of us. I try not to ever flag people's shit. I try not to ever mess with people's stuff at all. I don't. I try not to be like them. But my God, they are making it very difficult for me.
Yeah. Well, they're absolute heaps of garbage. And anybody, this is general advice to anybody out there. Child Protective Services is not a joke. And anyone weaponizing them should be shot.
If you don't know me in real life, but if you want to play that game, I'll tell you what, you want to fuck with me and play that game. We'll play that game and I will make your life fucking hell. You don't know me. If you think I'm just some fucking rube out there, then you can try me. I mean, you can, but you should notice a few things. Like, even though, you like to say Tuggy McDraw, you should also notice that I'm probably educated in it's just some of the vernacular that I use. I'm probably educated and, the things that I go through, you can assume that I have a certain type of job, but that's a heavy assumption. I'll tell you that, like I said, you want to fuck my shit up, I can truly fuck your shit up. And that's not boasting or anything else. It's just, if you want to get into a nuke fight, yeah, it's not going to be good. I hate these people.
And by the way, Tug has access to attorneys who would love to help find out who's making false reports to CPS. Love to find any of that info out, and would love to make your life a living hell on his behalf. Make no mistake. I think there's probably some support out there for guys like Tug who are just trying to do the right thing and have people involve government apparatus inappropriately. That would be a very, very stupid thing to do. That's all I.
There is repercussion for that. Going out and being stupid enough to basically post your intent, and so many of these people have that. Yeah, going out and doing that, and then trying something like that again. You can do that, but it won't work out. It just the games that these people play. It's kind of like what we've seen again in comics, we've seen in anime. They have all of these examples, and yet they just can't be happy with the little slice of pie that they fucking broke off for themselves because they treated people like shit. They have to just keep going. If they want to keep going, like they get worse every time too. Like when I watched games, gaming, like Gamergate, that was mostly about, it got ugly. You got some ugly people attacking out there, but what it was based on, collusion. You still have that carryover to comics, but it was also about ruining a dude's life and other people. It was about linking them with Charlottesville and on. Now we're talking anime. And yes, it's about ruining the medium, but also ruining a guy by calling him a sexual predator and a pedophile and on. And everybody associated with him that just stands up and says due process, ruining them too. Every time these people get incrementally worse, and fuck them. If they want to, this is where a line has to be drawn, number one. But number two, if they want to try to attach that stigma, it's not like calling me a Nazi online. You want to call us pedophiles and then go after our kids and shit. That's a line you don't want to cross. Trust me.
I tell you what, yeah, you try to come between me and my kids, and there will be a bullet, and it won't be in Minecraft. I'm not even joking. That's.
Yeah. I'm not trying to flex or showcase bravado. I know people, internet tough guys. It's just reality. You don't do this kind of shit. These people, they are crossing lines that a normal person would know not to cross.
Yep, absolutely.
Anyway.
America's Next Top Bottom Says, if I were Toei, I'd be mad at Funimation's handling of my IP. Me too, buddy. The English dub plays a pivotal role in Toei selling licensed products in the West, and it's over 100 episodes behind the Japanese. Licensing is where the money's at. Yeah, me too. Me too. That's a very good point, and if I were Toei, I'd be furious. Gabriel K says, I had a pedo, and I really mean he was a convicted pedo on probation. Neighbor. Call CPS to attack my family, trying to put me in jail because he became obsessed with my wife. Gross. Gross. That's messed up. All right. Let's read these. James Blackburn. So Diavolo's stand CA, and that's why he's so broken. I don't know what that means. You know what that means, Tug?
No, I don't understand. Sorry.
So Diavolo stand CA, and that's why he's so broken. I don't know. Sorry, buddy. The Bone Zone says tardy and bi-curious. Oh, were we tardy today? I didn't think so. Ryan Gordon says, hey there. I watch both your uploaded streams at work on the assembly line. Hey, thanks, buddy. Dirk Lemon says, Trump 2020. Also, it's okay to be white. Well, I guess it is. I don't know if that's true anymore.
Yeah, is it really? Yeah.
I mean, I think it's fine, but you know, I'm biased. Talbot Link. Talbot Link.
By confirmed. What? No.
Talbot Link says CPS is no joke. Bad neighbors called them on my family when I was a kid, and my bro made friends with them after a meth head neighbor on Dole called them on brother last month. CPS can ruin your family life if you get an overeager agent on your case. Yeah, and you have to remember that CPS agent who's overeager might have just watched a child die that they didn't get to in time. So how do you think they're going to react to yours, right? Like
they assume they can weaponize these platforms, though, and like I said, they don't know anything about the people connected there. Who's to say that you can weaponize a platform better than I could weaponize a platform? You know, who's to say I don't? You know, like, oh, well, a lawyer might know more, you know, about the law than maybe, you know, some layman asshole. Well, who's to say, you know, there's not connection with that or anything else? Like I said, it's a crazy game these people want to play. You know, they assume you don't have connection in law enforcement. You don't have connection in any of these other mediums. It's just it's a very, very assumptive way for them to play.
We're just people on YouTube, Tug. That's all we've ever done in our entire lives.
I'm just a disembodied voice with an umbrella face. That's copyright infringement, apparently. Definitely.
How dare you? Ravelin One says Tug also has access to an army of us who crowdfund justice. These evil ones had better leave the little parasol and her entire family alone. I'm a mom and I'm spitting mad just hearing about this. Yeah.
And thank you. I appreciate that. I do appreciate there have been a lot of people's support. Obviously, these people, what's funny is they own places like Twitter, and yet they lose even more support because they're too damn crazy. I mean, they own it, but I think we definitely own YouTube. I would say, you know, we definitely own YouTube, but we also we've taken a significant chunk of go ahead, Twitter too.
No, I was going to say we certainly own YouTube on this issue. They've got nothing. And then, yeah, they're losing Twitter. I mean, watching Renfamous's reactions get just obliterated has been so funny. It's been so
deplatforming. I mean, these people, she hunted I Stand With Vic people, taking out dozens of people's accounts a day, real people that they would false report. And then I prefer to believe her on this account. I prefer to believe that she lost her account because somebody called her a dude and she corrected them and said lady, and Twitter nailed her for misgendering.
Yep. Good.
Yeah,
you made these stupid rules, you dumb bitch.
There you go. You know, reap the whirlwind. Reap that whirlwind.
Ink Penification says Diavolo is the main antagonist of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5, whose whole thing is he's ruthless and wants to remove any traces of of him by any means necessary. He is also the leader of a mafia. So that's the reference to that chat.
Okay.
That we didn't understand. Small Tummy Wonderful, thank you for the donation. Marty Lund says Shane got accounts mixed up, outed his wolves, nasty. I don't know if that means that's actually Shane or if that was just raised by wolves trying to play into that. But
man, I took it. You know, I've got I can pull up that tweet, and people can tell me like what they think. When I read it, to me, again, yeah, they could be playing a game, sure, but it really, I don't know. I could buy it as Shane. Again, I don't have proof of that, so you know, it'll take me a minute to find that fucking tweet. He basically though, that wolf guy, they're nasty too.
yeah,
They're just, you know, they're attacking anybody and their mama they run across. So here was the here was the exchange. I'm going to read it quickly. So here's Shane's part, then there'll be a response, and then
you can screen share it if you want. I'll focus it on you.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'll do that.
Yeah,
and then they can make up their own mind. This is what people are basing their assumptions on, though, and you know. All right, bam. Here we go. So. Here's Shane. Shane starts out. Yes, Vic is going to go around suing everyone who has ever made accusations about him over the last decade. Funny, if he was going to do that or could, he would have done it when they happened and not a decade later. My God, every time I read him,
he's like, the dumbest person on the internet. He is the dumbest person.
Look at that baby beating his ass up too, man. That's what I would do.
That's probably not even his kid. That's just some random baby beating him up in a ring.
He was like 15 years ago. You're like, oh, put that back. No, wait, unconfirmed.
15 years ago, I think his current wife was 4. Or not his wife, his fiance. It was like 4 or 5 years old.
That's a future hair plug.
Oh, no. Oh, I thought you were going to say future girlfriend. Good Lord.
Oh, maybe. It's probably a future freaking chair accessory. The way that fucking thing looks. You know, somebody should do like a Pimp My Ride version for his chair. That would be kind of awesome. You know, I'd like to see that show. Oh, man. But anyway, so this person answers, he doesn't need to sue everyone. Just people like you that simply cannot help themselves from tweeting out one defamatory statement after another. The more you say, the more they have for discovery. So keep going, big boy. Dig that legal grave a little deeper. And Raised by Wolves comes in and says, don't worry, I will. Not going to stop. Now that looks like someone signed into the wrong, you know, that does look like the wrong account being signed into. Is that definitive proof? No, but man, that doesn't look very good for you, you know? Keep going, big boy. Dig it a little deeper there. Don't worry, I will. Okay. Well, all right.
Yeah, that's a weird one. But this guy, like, why didn't he sue him a decade ago? Because he wasn't damaged a decade ago. I want to address something here. There's this consistent narrative that Vic has been banned from conventions for years. I produce one convention that Vic has been to and then been banned from ever. Produce one. Because I know people have been looking into this and they find out that he's been canceled from or he has canceled or been canceled from a couple conventions, and it's always because there's some sort of scheduling issue that came up with a different convention, and that sometimes happens when you have booking agents. But find one and show me, because everybody knew, all these conventions knew, and they all banned him all the time. Not true. And I've heard he was banned from SakuraCon. Not true. I've heard he was banned from all these different places. They even said he was banned from Matsuri. One of the narratives is that he was banned from all Texas conventions one year, but he went to 3 or 4 conventions in Texas that year. This is one of those ridiculous narratives. Fat idiots like Shane Holmberg keep pressing this, and it's like, put one up.
Shane is one of my favorite people, though, to pull out. Now, you know, again, if you look at the man's statements, my God, like his My favorite statement that he's ever put out, the two that get me, he was talking about documentation of harassment. He said this stuff's been documented, but it never makes it outside of the con. Heck, one I worked at, so he's talking about himself, would took dozens of security reports each year and held on to them and then just tossed them out after a year or two. No one outside of management or con security ever knew what was in them. So admits to taking security reports, destroying them. I believe that's illegal. And then later on, he admits that we talking about himself should be fucking implicated as well as every person or con who let this behavior of him or other guests slide for a fat bank. So he's admitted that he let behavior slide and he admits he should be implicated. So he, along with, I was sexy 15 years ago, that kind of
God, that's never been sexy in his entire life.
God, man.
Let me just remind people. I asked Vic, I'm like, do you know who this guy is? Because remember, he's like, oh, I've worked with Vic for years. I know him and blah, 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 blah. I asked Vic, you know who this guy is? Nope. No idea. I don't know this guy at all. How embarrassing. How embarrassing to have your lies put right in front of your face and to assert that I'm close with Vic. I've known about him for years. I've known him for years and worked with him, but blah, blah, blah. Vic's like, I have no idea who this guy is. Not even a shred of recognition. You pathetic little monkey. No one cares about you.
That's got to hurt his feelings. I mean, but, then again, he pretends that, he's such a powerful person within con circuit. And you look at people just ignoring him. I mean, he has gone hard in the paint for anti-Vic. And he's
gone hard into that chair. That's what he's gone hard into. Good Lord. Sorry.
Well,
the vodka's hitting.
It's more comfortable than the dumpster, that he probably climbed out of, unconfirmed. But I mean, seriously, that guy is, I don't know. That guy's pathetic. It's sad. I would feel bad for you, Shane, if you weren't trying to fuck up another person's life, knowing that one day all it takes is 280 characters and somebody out there can, fuck up your life too. All they have to do is say something and you set up that world. So fuck yourself.
Yeah. Neon Goblin says, I would raise an army of goblins for you and Lil One, Tug.
Oh, man. Thank you. Yeah, I do. I appreciate all of the support there. I don't know. I never thought my kid would be attacked by crazies. It's some people don't really get the fact that how crazy these people are. When you that these crazies are digging through your life all the time, trying to find you, and again, they say, professionals say these are their personal accounts. You can never judge them. Mine is a personal account. I don't even have a face or anything. I'm a nameless consumer out there. Just have that umbrella guy. Well, they want to hook that to my life and destroy it and find my kid and, do all this weird shit. So I appreciate people standing up for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Richie Gonzalez says, hell hath no fury like a man whose family is threatened. People got killed over this back in the day. Stand firm, Tug. We got your back.
Thank you.
The DCV Titan says, speaking of the blue-haired one, do they only rank has an orca? I think it means her as an orca. Or could they make land whale, thus making them a blue whale, nature's largest mammal?
There you go.
I've thought about congratulating her on her pregnancy.
Yeah, there you go.
Enigma 1788 says, tagged you guys on Twitter. Ron purchased 10 of the Believe Bulma patches, taking bets on them being dumb enough to wear them in court. I think those got taken down by Toei, right? There was a copyright claim on those.
I wanted one. I really wanted one. I did. I'm sorry to say, but I wanted one.
Well, yeah, I don't think they're able to be sold. I think Etsy took them down.
Damn it. There goes my life goals. Thank you.
But there's now I don't fear the beard one that's out there. I
saw that one. I want that one too.
But here's the interesting thing about that. Toei is paying enough attention to take down a patch with I Believe Bulma and hashtag Kick Vic on it. from Etsy.
That's actually that's very telling, to be honest.
Yeah, this is like a no. What, they're gonna lose $50 in revenue from that thing. That's really interesting.
It does, definitely. Yeah. I mean, if they're, you know, I do wonder. I do wonder how many eyes are on this. And you know, the answer, corporate lawyers and stuff. If people don't think that this gets watched, they apparently don't. They don't understand like any type of loss prevention or anything else. There's a lot of eyes on us. They're a lot. They're watching us, and they're watching their pros too. They won't stand up for them when they fuck up enough either. That'll be the beautiful thing.
Let's see. We've got Space Reptile. Thanks for the donation. Harbinger 345. Tug live twice in one day. Oh my. Love the work you guys both do. Keep up the good fight. We will, buddy.
Thank you.
Some cartoon chick says, I'm a webcomic artist and I love Tug and Nick and what they do to help us indie artists. Keep doing what you do, guys. Absolutely. Dirk Lemon says, this is completely unrelated, but what do you think of this story? FoxNews.com US, Good Samaritan fatally shot after paying for meals, handing out $20 bills at Waffle House. I don't know. I'd have to look into that one. That sounds kind of tragic. Genkyo says, I guess don't hand out 20s at a Waffle House.
Yeah. Just be an asshole. Come on.
Yeah. Gengio says, you mean they'd get stuck in the window, Tug? I'm not sure what that was referencing. It was so long ago.
Sorry, I don't remember.
Sorry. Sakaki Onsai says, Joe Quesadilla needs to be ousted from his post. I agree with that statement.
Yes.
Intimidator 0108. If for nothing else than just the abysmal performance of Marvel Comics.
But you know, he's connected to Marvel Entertainment. The thing he should be ousted for is the fact that their go-to is saying you have to have a disclaimer in any of your social media that says, you know, opinions are my own. He doesn't have one. He goes out and he quite literally called out Yellow Flash. He told him, this guy buys comics. Yes, he cuts them up, but he buys them. He is a comic consumer. He told him that's the kind of consumer you don't want. That guy is trash. I mean, that should have repercussions.
Yeah. And Joe's an obvious piece of garbage. Well, Joe, you know, likes and retweets Renfamous's stuff, clearly condoning harassment of customers. So that's a very interesting position to take as a CEO of a company. Intimidator 0108 says, hey, Nick, just stopping by to say hi before I go to bed. Soon, before my National Guard unit leaves Iowa for our home state and actual internet at my apartment. Also, I'm really looking forward to your comic, Tug.
Thank you, man.
Oh,
Thank you.
Cool.
I hope you're, I hope you got some sleep.
Yeah, absolutely. Stefan Elmore says, how do you feel about Blade and Bow bourbon? I've never had it, but now I want it. Chris Nemo says, give me a quick rundown on the situation with Chrissy. Chrissy is like a real life friend of Renfamous or something. And
she's batshit crazy. She shills for them. And she decided that she understood who is related to me out there. They fanficked me together. And, you know, I mean, would it matter? Here's the thing. Would it matter if my wife were online? Would that matter? She's not allowed to have her own opinions and shit, and she would have to look over her shoulder all the time because you want to take me down so much that you'll destroy another woman. That's Chrissy.
Yeah, so. She's a weird one because she always tries to act like she's being reasonable and sensible when in the midst of doing the opposite.
She's about one of 9 people that I've blocked. I actually reblocked her today. She's the one who started up this shit today. She and Ren got this shit show started today. So I don't block many people. I think it's stupid and silly. You know, I don't have to pay attention to people, but you know, she tries my patience.
Gengio was saying, he was referencing your statement earlier, saying that Monica would jump through the drive-through window for her fries if they disrespected her. So he's saying, you mean she would get stuck in the window? Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah, well, that might be true too.
Oh,
yeah.
Get on that stairmaster.
Would she get the fries? That's what matters.
Oh, she trusts me. That would happen. That would happen.
There you go.
Uh, Randstein Hernandez says, Nick just finished watching a clip of you reading Miss Ronald Toye's complaint. Had a good laugh. Good. I'm glad. I hope to make you laugh on a nightly basis. Matoko Kusanagi says, I'm the only good attack dog. There you go. Natil says, I got myself the howdy neighbor for myself for my birthday. Oh, that's for the from your campaign.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Gabriel Evings says, who the fudge is saying Tug is ripping off Lovecraft? Half the mythos ripped off Lovecraft, and these idiots hate him anyway because he was a racist. Quotes.
Yeah, that's God, that irritates me so badly. You know, oh well, let's go back and judge the past by, you know,
judge a guy writing in 1926 for his spelling of Esquimos.
You know, that's the, you know, DC would not put out the before Batman series. This is how bad that's gotten, though. They were afraid that with all the problems that they've had, that if they put out early before Batman series for detective comics, that people would look at it and they would be like, oh my God, the yellow peril, and they would get attacked. So they won't put it out at all. They won't clean it up and put it out.
Who cares? No one cares. No real people care.
Past, man, come on. Yeah, I mean, I was willing to shell out real money for it, you know, but you're afraid that non-customers are going to have a shit fit, but they're afraid of damaging their intellectual property. And
well, they're doing a good job of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Steve, you know, when comics die too, here's a question. When they kill that, sooner or later, you know, when movies won't perform, what do they have left? Because that's going to happen sooner or later.
Yeah, that's a really interesting thing. I mean, I've long speculated that Disney picked up Marvel as an IP farm for MCU, and at some point, I think Disney's going to cut them loose and say, "Look, we own MCU, and you own none of it. Get out, and you can't write Thor comics anymore." Because we don't want you taking a dump on our IP and potentially ruining our sales.
Yeah, a lot of people have speculated about you know, farming out that kind of job and it's interesting. I mean, you can look at what Disney's done in the past and kind of draw inference. I know this year they didn't have a bad year simply because it wasn't about movies and stuff. It's about Donald Trump. He gave good tax breaks and they perform no matter what. I'm curious what they'll do this year and if anybody will actually get their ass fired, because, you know, you don't have that giant lump sum tax break, you know, that they were looking forward to like they did last year. So it'll be a little bit different, you know?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's very interesting. As they move into their own streaming service, as they monetize Marvel property in the way that they've been doing it, and they continue to do so. I mean, I think it's really easy for them to sever the comic brand. Like,
it's risky what they've been doing too, because you know, they've already played with cable and all of this other stuff, and it's been a disaster. You know, they own things like ESPN, and yeah, that was a nightmare. They've lost so much money every time that they've gotten into any type of streaming or anything else. So, you know, them thinking I'm going to make money simply off of you know, some Disney products and, you know, it's some type of Marvel branding. Good luck with that. Good luck.
Absolutely. We've got Knight of Hopex says, once someone makes it clear they'd like to murder me in a ditch, I tend to pull my money back. There's degrees, right? I'm not going to go buy Mao or Stalin's mixtape. If I really want that stuff, I'll just wait for it to be free on a legit service somewhere.
Of Mao or Stalin's lit. I like that.
Yeah. Napao Giandi says, Dad chat or Nick and Tug time tonight. Love that umbrella guy, and Lug is so adorable. Hate how NPCs have no respect for children and their sex life is just as horrible. Hate people like that. P.S. I'm a lol when you failed to pronounce my name. Napao Giandi. Well,
yeah, but if you come to my streams, I will butcher your name all the time, so that's okay. I'm sure if they've ever anybody that comes to mind, I don't even try a lot of times. I know I'll butcher their names, so kudos to you for at least trying all the time.
I always try. I usually fail.
Mm.
Lexor the Great says, to be fair, Ren probably gains more followers with every mention because people are prepping for when she protects her account and starts banning people.
There you go.
Crusader Saracen says, how much do you think or know, given your reach, that Vic's outspoken Christianity had a part in motivating the terrible things that happened to him? I think it's part of it. I don't know that it's as much as people think, in a direct way. I think a lot of it is really jealousy. Jealousy about sitting near him at a signing and watching everyone go to his table and no one go to yours.
I think Christianity was a good excuse. I think that's what you run into a lot of times. Well, he hated people because of his faith. He hated people because of this. All right, it's easy in this day and age to find a reason to crucify a dude, and that's one that people actually allow. Interestingly enough, crazy enough, but yeah, I think you're right. I think the jealousy explains a lot.
Yeah. Skeet Neat says MCU is what attracts those dyed hair thunder cunts to the comic industry in the first place. Yeah. Remember when Peter Quill was written like a commander and not a Reddit meme? There you go.
Yeah.
Let's see. Stefan Elmore says, bought a bottle of Basil Hayden's per your recommendation. Also, Blade and Bow is a delicious bourbon. I'll have to find some. Noir777, thank you for the chat, buddy. Ninja Bread Man says, trying vodka tonight. Look forward to learning about whiskey too. Thanks for suggestions and for getting me into Milo's. Keep up the fine work. You're welcome, Milo's. You owe me a sponsorship, buddy. Literature Devil says, even if you did rip off Lovecraft, the guy loved to see other authors use his ideas. Robert E. Howard borrowed heavily from him for Conan the Barbarian.
Wow.
Andrew Collins says, at Tug, I see Tug's name in the title. I come, Hero Hate 2. I'm a simple guy that wants to support Tug since he has a family to support.
Thank you.
Frackin' Joe, thanks for the donation. 2012 Jameson says, Tug mentioned a comic book guy that got Vic burned. Any ideas on that one?
God, it got Vic burned. I don't know. I'd have to know more about it. I mean, there's been a few people that have gone after him. I mean, I would have thought, another speaking of the largest mammals known to man, I was thinking things like Gail Simone, but I don't know. You'd have to be a little more specific. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not sure who you would have mentioned that's been involved in the Vic thing. Haunter says, just had a 2-hour conversation with a friend explaining some surface level 40k lore to get him started. Oh, only 2 hours? That guy's got no chance. He's starting Horus Rising tomorrow, and I'm starting I Am Slaughter. Death to the False Emperor. How dare you, sir? Dare you. Great books. Both of them are great. Great starting points. Enjoy them both. Enigma 1788 says, careful, Tug. Whalelord and its followers say your comic infringes on Teokaka from BlazBlue and the Umbrella Corps logo. I sense a gay op coming.
Yeah, they've been trying. There is like I said before, these people have been trying to flag it. They don't understand about transformative use in any way, because everybody clearly owns an umbrella. That's you go and look up umbrella and see what colors you can get it in. And wow, an umbrella face, and then look at character design. How much transformative use is there? A hell of a lot. And then the umbrella girl thing, they've been trying to compare that to all kinds of messed up things. I thought, what in God's name? If you think that's how that works, then, well, you're probably a Twitter, a law spurt or whatever you call those people.
They work for the law firm of Twittener.
Twittener, there you go.
That's what I'm going with.
Okay.
Gengio says, what % of the work have we done for Ty? I have no idea. Rhino says, Ren gets sued by EVS, Vic, and DNC on Monday. Please. Oh, that would be so funny. But I don't think Ren is getting sued. What are you going to sue her for? The sandwich that's trapped under her arm roll or something?
Hey, what about that? What about that awesome all that awesome cosplay and those hundreds of designs she claims that, you know, this is a resume. She was like, well, I've made hundreds of designs for Etsy and you know, my cool original cosplay. Yeah, you could own all of that.
I'm
You
gonna
jealous?
earn $350 on Etsy over the next 26 years that you could garnish. Oh, and also I'm gonna somehow find a way to monetize my Twitter. The problem is when I go on video, I'm an insufferable land whale that no one wants to listen to.
There you go.
I mean, what they could garnish her unemployment check, I guess.
Well, that's why, you know, that's why these people do not take to YouTube, because a YouTube audience can tell that you're a disingenuous piece of shit. You know, they can, you can be nasty in these current year, you know, seals, they'll slap their freaking fins together. But man, you get out here and people don't want to hear that shit after a little while. They know you're either entertaining, you're funny, and yeah, these people just they come across as yeah. If nobody's ever seen the infamous interview with that potato headed fucker, what's his name, Kevin Logan, then yeah, go watch it. It'll show you why they don't come over here.
Yeah, yeah, they don't play well. They don't play well on TV. Motoko Kusanagi says Vic being Christian is such a BS reason. If that was the only reason he's a quote bad person, I wouldn't be here right now after I previously had an extremely negative experience with someone who'd use their religion as an excuse. Fight me. There you go. You know, I think Schemmel's reason for hating Vic for a long time is because of his Christianity, but I don't know that everybody else. That's why I don't think it's a primary reason. I think it's some of the values that he has in his style of Christianity that bother them, but or maybe just his approach. But
So that's
I
what
don't think
irritates
it's a
me.
big
I
thing.
heard that. I heard that. God, I can't remember his name. Kurt something. It's one of Doug TenNaples' friends. He calls him a friend there, and that guy was a-okay with Doug TenNaples losing, you know, losing lots of money, his job, and everything else because of his brand of religion. And I thought, holy, you know, crap. I mean, what world are we living in? You know, I find some people's beliefs funny. I might want to mock them. That's okay. You know, maybe I can, but I don't think you should ever, you know, I don't think you should ever lose a job because of, you know, something that I'm sure he wasn't telling to, you know, a person sitting beside him. He was just, you know, talking about, he had this belief. He probably said something about it on Twitter and on, and, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, that was a very disturbing thing. That
Yeah,
was
Scott
very
Kurtz, that's it. He was the "Who are you?" Man, I hate that guy, you know?
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Mundane Matt's Boulder says Tug's new nickname for the Umbrella's children, Alice from the movies and Valentine.
Allison Valentine.
I think they're from the. I have no idea actually. Marshall says, "Will you dab on stream for 2 Great British pounds?" No, I don't. I mean, I don't know. I'm uncomfortable with dabbing. Plus, dabbing is that's synthetic marijuana, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. Look, boom, there you go. You know, you
Tug
can't prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. There you go.
Tug did the dab for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Randstein Hernandez says, Tug, have you played Bloodborne? Heavily Lovecraft inspired.
Yeah. It's been a little while. Yeah. You know, I haven't had a lot of time to. I played I play a lot of fast games now. Of course, the last game, obviously, I spent a lot of time on was Resident Evil 2. I had to play that a lot, but usually these days, you know, between YouTube and every damn thing else, I don't know when I have time to do much of anything.
Yeah, it's I've been doing them at night after these streams, which is brutal, but it's the only time I can really play. Let's see, we've got 2012 Jameson says Jai Nitz, ask Tug about him. You know who Jai Nitz is?
Oh, Jai Nitz. Oh, yeah. Actually, that's yeah. I know what he's talking about. So there's a guy, Jay Nitz. He's the guy who created, you know, from Suicide Squad, El Diablo. You know, that character from the movies. People probably know who that is. Well,
oh, I didn't watch that movie because I heard it was garbage.
Oh, that's garbage. But that guy was also a turbo feminist. You know, he was down with the Thor, he's just a boring white guy, you know, but giving Thor's hammer to a woman, whoa, that's impressive. Okay, well, this guy, I'm gonna summarize this. I'm gonna make it kind of quick, but you can go and read the testimony. This guy, he gets invited as a guest speaker to a college. Afterwards, a girl follows him on Facebook. I guess friends him. He friends them back, or it could be Twitter. I can't remember. And 2 weeks later, they had apparently been talking. This is her narrative that I'm using, so there's a lot of holes in it. And they go out for drinks. She thought she was going to get a mentorship. Why? She says they've been talking about politics and entertainment. So I don't. That doesn't even make sense. But okay.
Are you going to tell me about a male feminist who tried to act inappropriately with a woman?
Yeah, awkward kiss. You know, and basically, you know, these are the hardest people to say this is wrong with, because those turbo feminists, you know, I think you deserved it. You know, this is the world you wanted, but at the same time. So this guy goes, they have 3 drinks. They talk about him. Her first stuff that she talks about is I think her Tinder dating profile and how she's logging that all. And her first kiss, she awkwardly tells the guy she's a virgin. They've switched to another place. She says, I was a little uncomfortable by the language switch, but I felt like I owed him. So she gets more, you know, free food, free drinks. So they have more sexuality talk. End of the date, she says it's very awkward, but she hasn't left or anything, even after he goes to the bathroom. He puts his arms around her to hug her. He says, give me a kiss. And she pecks him on the neck a few times. Gets in the car. She's like, I'm relieved. Then he says her name. She turns around and he plants one full on the mouth. That kiss right there got him a Title IX complaint and got him fired from Dark Horse and branded a sexual abuser. It destroyed his career.
Oh, that's too, like...
When did it kiss? Her.
Like you sat there for an entire date. You hung around and gave you a kiss. All you had to say was no. I don't think that. I don't know.
Well, you know, I mean, okay. I went to this wedding, and it was a while back, but this lady there was saying, the guy that, you know, she was marrying, she said, you know, at first I wasn't that into him. He kept pursuing me. I told him no. Then, you know, after a while, that's the romantic story. But at the same time, you know, you get this weird thing of, you know, awkward date, awkward kiss at the end of the night, and boom, your whole life's over. So
yeah, that's both. Thanos the Mad Titan, thank you for the donation. Literature Devil says, any update on the Rekieta comic? I mean, I bet, I think my artist would be really, really pissed off at me if we even talked about it, because I have not sent him anything. I've been so busy with this other stuff. I was just thinking about it a couple days ago. Drayfon, thank you for the donation. Sevi Rock says, if your kid watches subbed at an early age, they'll learn to speak Japanese. There you go. The DCV Titan says, I have a sick fetish for watching dub with subs on. Wrong. Get out. Yellow Flash 2 says, monetize Renfamous, the fat Party City cosplayer. Aw.
Yeah. He ran it was really funny. He ran a monetize Renfamous. She got so mad. He ran just a, you know, welcome to the, thank you for contributing to the monetize Renfamous fund. I mean, he just read super chats, and he did that for like 60 minutes because people were enjoying it. And she blew a gasket. She might have actually moved from point A to point B.
She can't monetize herself. Of course she got mad.
Yeah, but Yellow Flash did. It was beautiful. Oh, it was beautiful.
Let's see. Oh, speaking of which, my comic artist is in the chat. If there's anyone I need probably protection from, it's that guy. Just because I told him I'd get him a script a long time ago.
Oopsie.
Sorry, buddy.
It's Renfamous's fault.
Why don't you yell at me on Twitter more so I remember? Amtank says, I believe Bulma Patch person got C&D'd for copyright infringement. Yep, we know about that. Mr. Obi-Wan 2020 says, did you see that these locals decided to make their own patches? Those patches are nothing but smiles for me.
Yeah.
What was that?
I want one. I do. I want one. Come on.
I think that'll happen.
Yeah. Okay.
Ninja Bread Man says Shane is the shockmaster of hashtag KickVic. Anime Moon says, hey, KickVic, we have Japanese friends, Baka. Steal My Name says, maybe you covered this in your Wikipedia of YouTube videos, but do we know the credentials of the investigators like Wicklander, CFI, PHR, etc.? No, no, no. Make no mistake. Here's the interesting thing. Tug, what do you think about this? I think there was one investigation done by Funimation. Everybody assumes there's two, but I don't think there was two. I think there's one.
I think that IO9 tried to present it like there were multiple investigations. Taking IO9's word on it, that's a mistake, I think. You know, the way that there may have been, they may have looked into something a couple of times possibly, but yeah, I don't, you know, maybe to put something together. I honestly think there was probably one. It came back inconclusive. That's what IO9 again. If you go by them again, garbage. But them saying this just really, it came back inconclusive. So they found no wrongdoing. You know, they found nothing there. Inconclusive means they said we're done with this, and then you know they admit actually if you follow Monica's big statement that she throws out on Twitter. She says that she was frustrated, didn't get the outcome that she wanted. So she took it out into social media and brigaded and caused this to happen. So I always get the feeling that there was one.
I tell you what, trust me on this. I'm pretty sure there was only one. And I'm pretty sure if the contents of that investigation get released, it will be very embarrassing for Funimation to suggest that, to have juxtaposed the follow-up of the investigation with the termination of Vic Mignogna. I have a feeling that I may know what's in some of that investigation. I don't know if I know all of it, but I have a very good feeling that I know what's in there. And when it comes out, anyone with any logical sense is going to say, how embarrassing that this is what they've been using as their rallying cry. And the funny thing is, I think they know it too. And I think that the people on like Monica's side and the KickVic people who are in the business and who know what happened in that investigation, I think they know that if that investigation's details come out, that their entire narrative is destroyed in a heartbeat.
Well, we saw certain things that were they were supposedly, you know, damning, and you know, like Miss Fake Swatter herself. You know, we saw what she provided, and you know, she put out a screenshot of it, and it was nothing. It was supposed to prove that Vic had harassed some. I can't remember if it was a singer or I can't remember who it was. I'd have to look. But there was nothing in this statement where she provided that proved any of this. It was basically just someone saying, well, I didn't really want Vic to meet them because, you know, I've heard. Okay, well, he did nothing in that. So if that's the level of proof that you have in an investigation, it's disgusting. And in fact, Funimation, they really better have come up with something better, because if they didn't, it's not only going to make them look stupid, it's going to make them look liable.
I'm going to tell you right now, I have a feeling when those investigations, and they're gonna come out on Discovery, whatever was in the investigation is gonna come out on Discovery. I bet there was one. I bet it happened before Broly. And I bet the amount of reports is being exaggerated. I bet the severity of the reports is being exaggerated. Or I bet that Funimation went ahead and just disregarded a bunch of reports that they found ridiculous. One of those things. I think we're going to find out that there were a handful of reports that they investigated, and that even if they were true, they would find no misconduct. And I really, 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 really want that report to come out. I really, really want it. The hypothetical investigation report, that it would be a real shame if the information I have is true. And that was what they were going off of. I'm going to tell you, we will not stop laughing if that becomes public. We will not stop laughing.
Now I need it. Now I need it in my life. Oh.
Well, I mean, if this goes to Discovery, I mean, Funimation, they are ridiculously dumb if they have not found settlement with Tai at this point. Like, if they're not working actively towards it, they're the dumbest company I can imagine, because they have to know that even if you win, what comes out in Discovery is going to blow your stupid doors open, and everyone is going to see your dirty underwear, you idiots. Like,
I've been wanting to ask you this. So back in March, Ron, I can't understand Ron for the life of me. You know, he was talking back in March before he announced his lawyers, 3 days before. He was saying, well, you know, most cases settle out of court, and if we had a good settlement, you know, we would settle if there was a good offer. What the hell happened to that guy? Like, he for like 4 days, he seemed like he was taking lawyer advice or something, and then I don't know, he went off the rails, man.
Yeah, it's here's my theory on Ron Toye. I think that they went and talked to a lawyer. They said, we're under threat of having a lawsuit, and we need to know what to do. And that lawyer said, you know what? You should probably private your social media and stop talking about it. And then probably said some other things. Maybe charged them $250, $500, something like that for a consult for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, depending on the guy they hired is pretty expensive. Or the guy they talked to. Let me not say the guy they hired. The guy they talked to is pretty expensive. But he probably said, you know what? If papers come your way and you want to talk more, come back to me. Here's my rate. You can drop down a retainer at that point. I don't think they actually hired the attorney. Because if they did, I think there would be rumblings about settlement. I think they would have been quiet because they would have been in negotiation. It would have been really stupid of them to keep talking. If they did, because I think Tai said he sent that lawyer some stuff, right? And you know, at that point, you'd think that they would enter like standard operating procedure on this stuff. That lawyer would start talking about what settlement was there, especially if Ron was talking about settlement. They would be in negotiations. My understanding is I don't think anything like that has happened, and that should be backed up pretty easily by the fact that Ryo and Toye keep talking about it and keep saying stupid things.
Right.
So
I kept thinking, okay, so that makes sense. I mean, that does make sense. I kept thinking, what in the hell? You know, they had a moment. So yeah, that does make sense. Talk to somebody, but you know, they're just waiting on the hammer to drop.
Yeah, and I think maybe they don't think it's coming, which would be really stupid. But there you go.
A lot of these people, they live in, you know, if somebody tells you I've gone out, if they collect, I mean, what in this makes these people think it's not coming? You've gone out, you've collected $100,000+. You know, you've, by the way, if people have not checked out the GoFundMe in a while, put more money into it if you want to. I periodically drop some more in just because, yeah, it'll be fun. You know, it's a fun game. Watch these people pay. But all this money, the lawyer comes out, he talks about it. He talks about how this is going to go and everything. So why do these people, oh my God, they don't think it's coming? I mean, come on. Like, what world are you living in? What the state of denial? It must really be a large state.
It is a large state. I've got the GoFundMe pulled up on stream. I've seen a couple requests to get an update. Listen, guys, I'm gonna do a GoFundMe stream dedicated, like, you know, where we're gonna really hit the GoFundMe hard and talk about it and promote it more once the lawsuits drop. I think that'll be a great time. I'll provide an update to the GoFundMe at that time, talk about who the lawsuits went out against, all of that stuff. I think that's the best time to cover it. But here it is at $126,360. We were going to hit it and promote it a lot, but I here's the thing. Like my mind is simple. My mind is simple. Before I'm going to promote the GoFundMe further, I want to see more tangible information that you guys can see results on, to know that, because, you know, I'm asking you to donate to a GoFundMe on faith. Well, I did that first. And then as we've gone, I've tried to get more and more information to come out. We got a statement from Vic validating the GoFundMe. That was great. We've got, you know, the Kamehacon results were great. And those two things really kind of drove GoFundMe into higher and higher places. And so I want to bring you guys lawsuits, tangible results. That's what I said in the GoFundMe when I created it, is that I would be as open and transparent as I could, as long as we're within the bounds of confidentiality. And I think once those lawsuits actually drop, that will be the next point where I'm going to promote it and say, look, here's what's going on. We're going to read the lawsuits. We're going to talk about them. We're going to lay out the case and show how the case is laid out. And we're going to go ahead and at that time ask you to please consider supporting Vic some more, because I'll give you something to see. You'll see where the work has gone, and you'll see where the work will be going for the next round of lawsuits, for the first round of motions, and all that stuff that's coming. So that's the idea. That's the idea. So someone said, we want heads. And it's like, well, I want to bring you skulls, buddy. I want to bring you skulls. And to do that, I just need some progress. I don't want to shill something and push something without just like on a promise and a prayer. Even though I know what's going on and I know that things are going to happen. I want to give you guys that, again, that extra level of surety and knowing that things are happening. So there's that. Okay. Ninja Bread Man says Shane is the shock master of Kick Vic. Shane is the jock master of Kick Vic, I think. Anime Moon says, hey, Kick Vic, we have Japanese friends. Oh, wait, I read those. Marsupial Gamer says, well, I didn't want to say go Doris in case you're a dirty Vols fan. Either way, still love you. The DCV Titan says, remember, mateys, there be other places for anime. King Explosion Murder says, Funimation is the issue. Others like Viz Media and Sentai Filmworks haven't been as corrupt as Funimation, which is part of why I hope Viz can revive the Ocean dub of DBZ if they get the license after this. Matoko Kusanagi says, MAPs are disgusting. So there you go. Minor attracted persons are disgusting. I think we can get some agreement there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yuck.
Get help. Get help.
Yeah,
Honestly,
well, these maps, they even go out and, you know, they say things like, any of you that are going out and getting therapy or something for that, you're just deceiving yourself about who you are. Yeah, those people get something else. I don't want to say on stage. I don't want to say here what you need to go get.
We say get Minecrafted around here.
There you go. Then get double Minecrafted.
The Dark Admiral March Hare says, walking away from corporate comics. Thanks to Tug and others, I picked up manga, reading Space Battleship Yamato while listening along. Oh, thanks, buddy. Fallen King, 33620, thanks for the donation. Viziki says, I'm legally blind, so I cannot watch anime or anything not in English without an English dub, but if it comes to it, I don't need to watch it at all. There you go. Dark Eternal 6 says, the Iron Maiden torture device is another one that didn't actually exist. It was created for theater several centuries after the fact. Thank you for clarifying that. Cornelius Mod Boss says, Renfamous is shrieking that Tug's directing fans to send her death threats. Someone should tell her to go outside or clean her room. Sweetheart, we don't need to send you death threats. The diabetes is coming. The
it's just like, you know, it's the spin. There's always this spin. It's attack, attack, attack. You're attacking me because, you know, because they switch it up. They become the victim. They throw out identity, and then they start screaming about death threats, and all the seals applaud.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. Quantum Video says, you're doing good work, Nick. Can you mention my channel? Quantum Videos. I have lots of faith-based content I'm working hard on. Well, there you go, guys. Check out Quantum Videos channel and see if you like it. Vanish Mantle 4, thank you for the donation. ZZ Toluca says, cheaper to learn another language at this point and import. I did it with English. Spanish is a native tongue. Might do it with Japanese as well. There you go. Secret Squirrel Tech says, hey, Tug, bought the second tier. Both y'all keep it up. Rhinosaurus Rex says, if Toei was to shut down the English dubs because of funny, do you think it would apply to anything? Would apply anything to fan dubs? Been working on a dub for SDB Heroes on YouTube. I don't know. Fan dubs seem like a very dangerous game as far as licensing goes to me. But
I think it's a dangerous game personally.
Yeah. No one important says, it's too bad that Monica turned out to be as crazy and shallow as she did. She was one of my favorite voice actors. My favorite role of her was Anna from Shimonetta. Ironically, why ironic? Ask the chat, lol. Why is that ironic? I have no idea. SoCat says, what if the ultimate goal is to ruin Dragon Ball? Then they're ruining their own pay, and I don't think that's true. That's their...
They're probably... Hey, do not underestimate stupid.
Yeah. If you think they have a plan in here, or a goal, an ultimate goal that's beyond just shrieking at some man, you might be thinking too hard. Probably are thinking harder than they, because constantly they're on the back foot, and they shouldn't be. To Fabled says, it's funny, Ron Soye has been real quiet ever since you called him out on the last stream. Well, maybe he's busy. Skeet Neat says, I think it's fair for Japan to nuke us into oblivion for ruining English dubs. Kyle Cowden says, if you became aware of the SJW culture, are you woke? I think so. What do you think, Tuck? Are you double woke for being aware of SJW culture?
I don't. I don't. Maybe am I woke in a way? Man, I don't know. You just broke my mind there.
Yeah, it's mind is blown. Knight of Hopex says, Tug, as an old software developer, we have an unwritten rule that developers don't pirate software. Isn't there an equivalent rule among professional artists, even if they're mistreating you? Are you aware of any rule like that, Tug?
No.
Okay.
Not.
Yeah, I don't know. Artists are...
I don't know. No, I'm not. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. No, you're fine. You're fine. Let's see. Tim C says, Vic is humble, hence his popularity. A lot to do with it. I agree. Zero the Slayer says, Sabbat's tour equals saboteur.
Saboteur.
Giulio Cavallati says, I offer you the super chat donation, but you have to do something for me. Without answering with words, do it with action. If you think Toei is starting nuking down Funimation / VA, triple sip your whiskey. Well, I'm not drinking whiskey, and I'm out of vodka. There you go. I hope that helped. Let's see. Vokan Dudanak says, still kind of salty that we never got to see Chi-Chi in action beyond her fight with Goku. Stuff was cash, my dudes. And Vokun Dudanak says, the Chad Japan versus the Virgin SJWs. That's good. That's good. Oh man, I hate when YouTube like skips down.
I know it's actually it's very annoying. Like that's why I have to track I try to track by app or something like that. I have to track it by not app, but the screen. I have to pull it up somewhere. Otherwise,
I track it by Streamlabs usually, but I switched screens, and so it deletes like everything up to that point. It's so annoying. Let's see. Steve Oman 16 says, last month, Sega halted sales and recasted a VA after a VA was arrested on the suspected use of drugs, and did this all within a week. Not hard to believe Toei has something to do with this situation. Shadow Dragon 1011 says, Google's gift to me is mine to you, Nick. Thank you very much. Boken Dodinox says, the lumberjack from OG Dragon Ball is best girl. Prove me wrong, you uncultured swines. Kingstar 900 says, "Hey Nick, I just wanted to say thanks for answering my questions. Sorry I repeat them in first chat." Well, thank you for your first chat. Don't worry about repeating them. That's fine. Finfrog says, "Tug, your book reaching 20K proves that there's a demand, despite trolls and detractors demanding you change /stop/shut down, etc. Nice work."
Thank you. Yeah. Screw them. I don't care what they say.
Exactly. Nani Defax says, "Hey Nick, I found it kind of funny that we live in the same town. Wonder if I've seen you around and forgot about it before. Haha. What? Nani? Let's meet up for a drink or something. That'd be great." Mike C says, "I like Bulma, just not Rial's Bulma. I'm not a big fan of Bulma. Maybe in Dragon Ball she's funnier, but in Dragon Ball Z and beyond, I don't really care." No One Important says, "Tug's book at 20K and the Vix GoFundMe at 125K, 126 now. Congrats all around, gentlemen. Also, question for Tug: how do you feel about Bree's Captain Marvel?"
I mean, I thought it was very cardboard. I mean, I carry a heavy bias in there. You know, and it's not just Bree. Bree did weigh in on that because she kept talking about, we don't want white people doing this. We don't want men doing this. You know, I carry a bias, but also the way that Marvel was trying to carry the character. And they told me why. Sana Amanat, their VP of entertainment or whatever. Yeah, she told me what she thought of it. So, I didn't like it, but at the same time, it wasn't geared to me, so.
Yeah, there you go. I haven't seen it yet. I want to because I like watching the Marvel movies and I want to see it. And I don't really care that Brie Larson is a pile of trash personally. Although I hope it's good. I don't know. I want to see it and judge for myself. Also, I want to see the new, the new Avengers movie. So I want to just be up on the timeline. E. Michael says, "MJ is covering his children's faces doesn't seem so bad now." Vokundo Dinox says, "When you live in a hotel but still make more money than these hacks." Skeetney says, "I was sexually assaulted by Stan Lee when he shook my hand." That'll do it. He was notorious for that.
Monster.
God of Plague says, "Finished the Russell Greer list. Thanks for the laughs. You're welcome. He's a true gem of humanity." Dingleberry says, "Thank you for always providing quality content, man. I managed to snag a bottle of Highland Park 12 and a bottle of Glenfiddich IPA cask for my birthday. Both are great." Good. I'm glad you enjoyed them. Picky Gaming says, "Rekieta, ask Tug if Ron and Party are the type of people that wants a puppet show. Tug should know what it means. He mentions a couple streams ago."
Puppet shows. Oh no.
What's a puppet show, Tug?
Oh Lord. Okay, I can tell you a disturbing story. So I worked with this guy. If you work with a person for a while, you get to sometimes they tell you things they shouldn't. Okay, so I worked with this dude, and I worked with him forever, man. It's just maybe about 2.5 years. So he was like he was very shy about this stuff, but it was so funny. So he approaches me. We're on a factory floor, and he's like, "Hey man, is this kind of odd? My girlfriend, she likes this thing." I was like, "Oh, okay, well, tell me about it." It's like she likes puppet shows. I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" He said, those little googly eyes that you get at like the hobby store? She likes to get a couple of those and put them on my dick and make me do a little dance with it." And she gets little outfits. I was like, oh, I was like, "Oh my God, really?" And she gets little hats and makes little costumes.
Oh no!
Oh my God! Yeah. Like apparently, like a little cowboy hat. Oh my God! Even now, this many times I've told about it. Oh my God! I still laugh every time. It's the best thing I've ever heard. So his girlfriend made him put on little puppet shows while he was getting
God, little like Hawaiian shirt for your penis. That's great.
Yeah, like a little cowboy hat and like a little shirt. And, oh my God!
I know where I'm going to. I'm going to Party City and finding some.
Why would you tell anyone that? Why would you ever feel to me, hey, because every time I looked at it, I always thought, he'd be like, this is my girlfriend, or we're going to get married. And I always thought, yeah, that's the puppet show girl,
Yeah. Oh, Goodness. Hopefully no one's sticking their hand up to control that puppet. That seems uncomfortable. Triarius Metzer says, I enjoy your streams. It's not often I can catch them live. I typically watch them afterward while playing Final Fantasy XIV. Oh, good. I'm glad you can watch it live. And you can play Final Fantasy XIV while you watch it live too, if you want. Darkfang117 says, I just want to say that last night you had the whole ASMR vibe when you were mad and leaning close to the mic. And hey there, Tug, what's good, y'all?
So many y'all. Ugh.
Caleb Cooney says, more money to Nick to congratulate you, Tug, on the book. Thank you.
Thank you.
All Out of Bubblegum says, hey there, Tug and Grand Inquisitor Nick. I backed your comic, Tug. P.S. How's Little Tug's Death Note list going? Is Ken next?
Yeah, actually, my daughter, she, like I said, she's 5. She was like, hey, let's play Barbie the other day. She was like, oh, well, okay, I guess. So apparently, she was playing Death Note. A Death Note fell from the sky. Barbie found it. Right. Like, this is a cool game. I like this a lot better. So yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, it's a lot better, man. I mean, when you get into that kind of stuff, I'm thinking about they have I don't know if you've ever seen the horror movie Night of the Creeps. They have like little brain slugs. They're putting out an action figure of the main character for that from Screen Factory. I'm gonna see if I can get her to next time we play Barbie, maybe we can reenact that movie.
That'd be great.
That would be awesome. Yeah,
man, I haven't seen Night of the Creeps in probably 20 years.
They say, yeah, I can't remember his name, the detective guy,
I
saying
have no idea.
Yeah, but that
long.
guy, yeah, well, that guy, he's basically, it's the action figure of him. I think it'd be cool to have that reenacted. Oh no, Barbies, they've been attacked by brain slugs. Got to put them down.
Earth Defense Force Soldier says 100% correct that these people are famous because of IP, not because of themselves. Sabbat and Co. are not on the same level as, say, Nolan North. Oh, excuse me. The vodka. A guy so talented that if he said no to sequels, the Uncharted game series would not have continued. Irreplaceable. Keck7Go says, Cairo Distillery is officially endorsed by me, Nick Rackets, as the best source for rye gin and whiskey. Let there be no pretenders that harshness I taste from this could be made anywhere else than the dark, cold north of Finland by Napu and Kasku. Thank you, Keck, for recording a commercial for them. But they deserve it. They deserve it. Their gin is fantastic. I am an unironic fan. Where are we? Crusader Saracen says, Mr. Umbrella Guy, do you only have one kid? You need to catch up on Nick already. He's got 5. Chop, chop, mate.
Hey, my wife is pregnant, so yeah. Well, I'm trying to run that competition there. She's 5 months along. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, if you want to, you can support the project because yes, diaper money, it is definitely a nightmare. I seem to remember that. But
yes, it's never. You can never have enough diaper money.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it is a nightmare.
Well, I can't wait to see the next little Tug. That'll be great. Well, not see, but hear about or hear the announcement.
Yeah, you'll get to hear a lot of screaming in the background at first, and then slowly turn into horror stories. That's awesome.
Exactly. Swoop1337 says, in regards to death threats, the movie 12 Angry Men, great effing movie. They took time to establish that the phrase "I'm going to kill you" isn't necessarily a death threat. It's a commonly used phrase. YouTube censored the whole chat, so Streamlabs cunt effing cunt. Thank you for that. 12 Angry Men is a great movie. The voice of Piglet is one of the jurors. That's a fun thing. But yeah, that is a great movie. And no, I'm going to kill you is not actually typically an actual actionable terroristic threat in regards to law enforcement, because you tend to have to allege a specific. This is not legal advice. Don't go around telling people you're going to kill them, but you tend to have to allege a specific act of violence. Like, I'm going to strangle you, I'm going to rip your head off, I'm going to cut your arms off, or staple your penis to the floor, or whatever it is. You typically have to do that and threaten a felony battery, or an actual murder, not just give a euphemism or a commonly used phrase. So that is true, and 12 Angry Men is great. There you go. But again, check with your own state. Don't just take my work for it. Okay. Blaine20 says, what is Tug's Warhammer name? Asking for a friend.
I don't have a Warhammer name. No, sorry.
You're gonna
have
have to
sacrilege here. Sacrilege here. I know.
You're gonna have to get one. You're gonna have to get one, Tug. No one important says, I might not know all this legal jargon, but I do know one thing. When you bring in children, there aren't many people who can outsmart a bullet.
That's true.
It's very, very good advice. Werex says, whoever attempts to get between me and my child can do so over my dead body and all of theirs. This sort of thing makes my blood boil. Blaine20 says, I think I know who Bywolves is. ... Wink face. Blaine20 says, 15 years ago, my friend Chair went to an anime conference in Texas and never returned. True story. Sharon Young says, normal means ethical and moral behavior. To them, ethical and moral behavior is now alt-right Nazi. These people have no idea what normal really is anymore. I think that's true. Stupid thing. Here we go. Vokan Dedinok says, why is the rum gone? The rum isn't gone. I've got rum right there, Mahina. And then I've got 2 other rums on that shelf and one upstairs. Mr. DJ Fly High says, interesting. ANN Zach is married to Jesu Otaku, who used to work for Channel Awesome and is now an associate editor for ANN. I don't find that interesting at all. I find that completely predictable. And I can't wait till we get some Discovery on Anime News Network.
Yes. Yeah. Lord. Somebody made a conspiracy sheet on them, tracking down all of the connection early on. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more now, but I found that the nepotism and cronyism that they display just right off there were like, I don't know, 70 pages that people put together. And it, when you looked at it all together, it was quite the shit show.
Oh, hey, you know what? You know what I found out the other day? That one of my patrons is a former Channel Awesome.
Ooh, I wonder if they have some cool stories to tell.
I hope we will be having a discussion very soon.
Ooh, I want to hear that, man. That'll be good.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
X Varna says, every day that these people defend the Kick Vic side is another great day to be stand with Vic. Q, how embarrassing it is to be those. Listless Azure says, Necron tier will cull you inferior races. Hashtag Catan. Anime Moon says, Vic's Christian values has led to him blocking their politics. In anime, he has directed allegedly. That is why they want those roles. Propaganda. Joe Lugo says, I currently own no comics. Tugs will be my first. It's a good start. Sek Shomaru says, did you ever see the episode of Workaholics where Adam's MILF girlfriend made him wear a chindro? You think Ron is wearing one right now? Picture that. I did not see that, but I don't want to ever picture what Ron is wearing at Monica's behest. Eduardo Ramirez says, thoughts on T-Series cucking Pewds video on them? I've got to look into that. I've heard about it, but I haven't been following it. Cold Fusion Waffle says, defendant skulls for the law god. King Leek says, we love ya, Uncle Tug. Sorry, they're going after Lil Tug.
Thanks. I mean, I'm not surprised by it. I don't want anybody thinking I'm surprised or anything by the level of crazy. I am sometimes disappointed. I mean, come on, little kids, but I'm not surprised.
Yep. Fishleg says, man, it really sucks that Sabbat is being such an ASS with this whole Vic situation, as both of them are some of my favorite voice actors, and the whole thing has just soured my opinion of Sabbat, to be honest. Well, that's the risk they're running, right? Zare the Hedgehog says, hey there. Thank you guys for keeping up the great work. You and Tug are the very first and only super chats I've ever done. I love what you do. I love your channel. And thanks for bringing justice. Oh, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
I love that super chat. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, me too. Extrovert ED says, do you think Toei would drop Funimation and try to acquire Team 4-Star? DBZ Abridged is highly popular, and I have to think Toei would love to get 2 versions of the same IP to profit from. I've heard Team 4-Star has kind of been protected by Funimation. I don't know that would work out that way, and I don't think Toei is a big fan of Team 4-Star personally. But I don't know. Who knows what they'll do? There's The amazing thing about anime is, especially Dragon Ball, they're iconic. They're iconic roles, and there are lots and lots and lots of people who can do voices from Dragon Ball. You've got a very big thing and a very large pool of people who watch them. There are people out there who could do voices for Dragon Ball. I could do Piccolo's voice or Vegeta's voice just fine. And I'm sure there are people out there who could do it much better than me. Wouldn't be hard to replace the entire cast. I think that's one thing these voice actors forget, is that there are plenty of people out there who could replace them. Anime Moon says Tug knows about Shimonetta and the Nookie cookies. Okay.
Oh, the Nookie cookies, gross. I don't want to hear about that. Ugh. Yeah.
No one important says, by the way, Anna is a character that chases around the main character trying to rape him, all while enforcing a society where sexual acts and thoughts are suppressed via neck collars. Big Red Bear says, I forgot to mention Julian Assange. Thoughts? Well, man, it just journalistic freedom, right? Until you say the wrong thing, cover the wrong person, they'll find you. They'll find you. We'll see how that develops. I'm very interested to see what happens. I think we're watching some of the last of journalism die. People who reveal what the powerful are up to, beware. Though maybe I'm not seeing something. No, I think you got that one pegged, buddy. I think you got that one pegged. Rhinosaurus Rex says, if the fan dub is being done for free and not monetized at all, would that make it less likely to have some sort of repercussion for doing it? Yes, less likely, but it is not insulated. Currently, an English dub doesn't exist for it. It certainly doesn't mean that you can do it, but it helps. It helps. So there you go. But any monetization, even monetization via YouTube and stuff like that, which is indirect monetization, you're looking at real potential problems. All right, man. That covers the super chat buffer. We're all done. We should probably sign off because it's been a long show.
Yeah, good one. Enjoyed it though.
I did too. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm really glad to be supporting your book. Let's get a final count on that. We're at
21,355. That's good. That's really good, man.
Yeah, that is fantastic.
That's my 2 day and change total. So I'm 2 days and about I'm gonna guess for about 9 hours, I believe. So yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and I spammed the link to your book in the chat. If anyone has not checked it out, please go look at it. You don't have to buy it. Go look at it. If you like it. If you like it, then you buy it. Oh, also, you have to buy it. But
let me say too, like the Sketchian, there are 4 of those left. When they're done, they're done. So if you want one of those, you better get it because it will be gone by tomorrow probably.
Yeah, there you go. So go buy that. Go check out the Sketchian if that's in your budget and you want to support Tug and get the book and get it personalized. Go get it. There's 4 left. You will not get them again, apparently. And that's something you don't want to miss out on. Go check it out. If you don't want to do that, there's $20 and $40 options available as well. Go check them out. So, all right, guys, thank you so much. Michael Fox is asking Risk of Rain 2 on Twitch. I think I will do it in just a couple minutes. I need to go grab a snack, but I'll do it for a little bit. Only because there's a blizzard and it's a disaster here. But yeah. Oh, there's one final super chat. Says Chronoflation says, hey Nick, I remember you mentioning net neutrality in your 24-hour stream. Can you detail it and explain why it's bad in a future stream? Maybe we'll do that. Or I'll bring in someone who can provide an alternate opinion to mine to balance it out as well. So yeah, I would love to. All right. Check out Tug. Check out his channel. Subscribe to his channel if you have not. Check out the Indiegogo for the case of the Littlest Umbrella, which is right here. I'm spamming it again. And then yeah, we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys later. I will announce if I can stream tomorrow. I will. I don't know what my hotel internet is going to be like. But otherwise, anything you want to talk about, Tug, or plug last minute here?
I'm good. Just check that out. YouTube channel. That's it. Have fun. Oh, and the GoFundMe. Yeah, keep an eye on that when Nick starts talking about it again. Maybe we'll have an update real soon.
I hope so. All right, guys. Have a good night. Peace.